Happy New Comic Book Day, geeks, and welcome to issue 51 of the Script Heroes podcast.
The show where we bring you comic news, book reviews, and industry blues. My name is Joseph Jasonowski, and I am the writer of Janitor Hero, Cunning Carly, and the Cryptoverse.
And I'm Katie Markham, scripter of the Rusty Robot Country Club and ghostwriter extraordinaire. Today we have some absolutely radical polls to talk to you about. We have Titans number 17, The Pedestrian number 4, Night of the Slashers number 2, The Body Trade number 3, The Moon is Following Us number 3, and Ultimate Spider-Man number 11.
And if you enjoy any of those reviews or anything else on today's episode, you can follow the pod on Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, all at the handle Script Heroes Pod. You can find me personally on all those same socials at JJAZ1111.
And I'm everywhere at Katie Markham Pro.
And now, on to the news. Okay, welcome back to the Torturing Katie corner, where I am going to continue last week's torture because last week we had all the gold sponsor comics announced. This week we have all the silver sponsor free comic book day issues announced. So I'm going to quickly recap what was announced last week so that you don't try to rename the same properties. So in the gold sponsor comics, we had the Archie Comic Spectacular, Power Rangers / VR Troopers, Star Wars Young Jedi Adventures / Avatar The Last Airbender, Thundercats / Powerpuff Girls, I Hate Fairyland, Speed Racer Zero, Fantastic Four / Giant Size X-Men, Amazing Spider-Man / Ultimate Universe, Disney's Phineas and Ferb, the Dr. Seuss exclusive, Conan the Barbarian, Scourge of the Serpent, Minecraft the Manga / Beyblade X, and the Energon Universe Special. But
and I got all those right?
Yeah,
on the first try?
Definitely. But importantly, we did have one silver that was just announced early, which was the I am having a brain fart quickly. Godzilla. It was the Godzilla IDW book. So I'm going to do basically the same system I did last time where I jumped around, but I'm going to start with an extra special one here.
Okay.
And we are going to be talking about, if I can find it, because it's buried here. Okay, great. We're going to be talking about the Red 5 Free Comic Book Day issue.
Oh, God.
And you're not going to be able to guess any of the
You're such a fan of Red 5, though.
Because they are all new titles being announced for the coming year.
Okay.
But you should be able to guess one of the creatives behind one of these new creator-owned series, because it is something we had gotten an indication from somebody.
Patrick Horvath.
That is incorrect.
Damn it.
So you should be able to guess this because we were told by this person that this might be happening.
Oh no.
And I apologize to this person if I was not supposed to reveal that we were told this might be happening. So I'm very sorry.
Was it Dakota?
That is correct! Dakota Brown! It has a series called Something Beyond the Betrayer, by him and David Lujan.
Okay, I'm going to stop you real quick. Dakota is so good at naming books.
Yeah, I know, right?
Every time I see a title Dakota has put out, it's like, that has such a good fucking name.
Yeah. Do you want the quick blurb for this book? The art is also, I think, so up your alley, personally.
David Lujan sounds familiar to me.
I don't know that it's who, because I think it sounds familiar because I think somebody else.
I'm not thinking of Jared Lujan.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, I think you're thinking of.
Is this David Lujan, former Arizona State Senator?
I would venture to guess the answer is no. But while you're doing that, I'm going to quickly read you the blurb, assuming you can listen while you.
I can both
looking.
Listen and read.
Jocelyn Alvarez's storehouse of canned goods is waning, and her stuffed turtle Quigley is beginning to panic. The world around her is all but dissolved thanks to the constant deluge of acid rain that started a year and a half ago. Armed with a plastic raincoat, plastic umbrella, and plastic water gun filled with acid rain, just in case, Jocelyn and Quigley journey through the deadly deluge that has turned their world into dust in search of something beyond the Betrayer.
That sounds phenomenal. Also, I don't
Right?
know who David Lujan is. Maybe I
Okay.
follow him on Blue Sky or something. Um,
I
that
think you
sounds
will enjoy the game.
so rad.
Right? Oh my god. And I am a huge fan of Red 5. I think they do a lot of cool books.
And we're
So
both
I
huge
am
fans
very
of
excited for this.
Dakota.
Yeah,
So
Dakota's
that sounds
awesome.
like a pull list, added to the
I
pull
would
list book for
assume
me.
so.
Yeah.
And I assume we'll do the free comic book day issue that's going to have, the
Hell
first little
yeah.
bit of it in it. I'm going to quickly tell you the other two books in this because they are new books that you will have zero chance of guessing. We
Okay,
have
I appreciate
Snow
that.
Monkey by Jason Shaw and Hubert Kahn Michael, which is about a teenager donning the ancient helm of Wukong as she gains the experiences and abilities of every warrior who has ever worn it.
I dig
She
that.
fights against her father, the crime lord known as the Sensei, who's training his students to become an army of deadly warriors.
That sounds sick.
Quite up my alley, actually. That seems super fun.
We might be having a Red 5 summer.
We might, which I am here for. And then the final book we have is called Enigma Town by Alex De Luca and Abriel Terzian, which is, the story of a child's plaything becoming a real boy, but what happens when a real boy becomes a child's toy. It starts like any toy's destiny starts. It's first beloved by its owner, then slowly forgotten, until sadly abandoned. But what will happen to a toy that contains a living soul? Anything is possible in Enigma Town.
Jesus fucking Christ, that sounds horrifying.
Right?
Amazing. Love
there's
it.
Red Fives. They're called Red 5 Comics
yeah.
Young Adult Adventures is the title of the collection of these 3 prologues, as they call them, which I think is going to be quite fun.
All right, but I've braced myself. I've got my guessing cap on.
We're going to get back to the normal formula, which if you weren't here for last week's video, is I'm going to give Katie a publisher.
Yep.
I'm going to tell her if it's, one title in the book, multiple titles, whatever. And then she's going to try to guess the property / title of the book.
Which is a very hard game.
It's a very hard game. But you got a few last week, and you got a lot, but not on the first guess. Like, you were able to get to a lot of them. I'm going to give you one that I will give to you if you can get either the title of the book or any of the properties in it. There are a ton of properties in this one.
Okay.
This is from Boom Studios.
What is Boom putting? Is one of them Sir?
That is incorrect.
Damn it, that's coming out right now, and it's very fun. What else is? What would Boom really put there? Does Boom do Something Is Killing the Children?
That is correct. Right off the bat, you get one right there. I'm not going to make you go through all these, but it is just I figured we start with this to get out that sometimes it is just the title of the publisher. This is just the Boom Studios 20th anniversary special. It is going to have stories from Berserk, Something Is Killing the Children, Mouse Guard, Irredeemable, and an exclusive all-new Hello Darkness story.
Nice.
So it seems like a lot of the stuff is reprinted material, by the way.
That's wild, though, because Mouse Guard hasn't been coming out for a very long time. It was in, weird, square-shaped.
Yeah, I think the idea is that they're, grabbing things from different eras for, the 20-year anniversary of Boom.
That's delightful.
Anyway, let's keep rolling here.
Starting off strong.
Up next, we have Dynamite Entertainment, which you had to guess one from last week, but we have a new one from
Vampirella.
No.
She wasn't in there last week.
No.
Betty Page?
No.
Green Hornet?
No.
Oh jeez, what else do they fucking
You gotta think more popular than your last couple of guesses.
A more popular Dynamite thing than Vampirella?
I said than your last couple of guesses. I was excluding Vampirella.
They have Red Sonja. Is it Red Sonja?
No, but that's a better guess.
Damn
That's
it.
a better guess.
It's
not in a similar vein, but that's a better guess.
God damn it. What else do they fucking own? This is the worst part, is trying to remember
Last
what they
week's was
own.
Thundercats, so it's not, Thunder. But think of the other book that they had that was huge. This is now going back a few years, though, but it's been continuing to go. But this was huge when it first happened.
No Dynamite.
I don't read this, but
Titan
I know
has Conan.
it's a big thing.
What else is a big Dynamite series? Is it like an all other media thing, or is it like a purely comic thing?
It's another media thing.
God damn it! What else do they have?
It's an animated show.
It's a what?
It's an animated show.
Oh, god damn it. Phineas
And
and
it's not
Ferb,
Ben 10.
JK.
It'd be great if it was Ben 10.
It'd be great if it was Ben 10.
Yeah.
Oh, what do they fucking have?
It feels like you're right there.
It
feels like
almost
you're right
came
there.
to me. Oh no, it almost came to me. I'm so mad. I'm so mad. Oh, god damn it. Because we were talking about it when you were telling me that they got Ben 10.
I believe so. Potentially.
Oh, motherfucker.
I don't remember. But if we were, but that makes sense that we
god
were.
Damn it.
If that was happening.
I, for the life of me, don't remember what they have right now.
Do you want me just to hit you with it?
Give me a hint. Give me one more hint. Give me one more hint.
It is a Disney.
The fucking Disney. Is it Gargoyles?
That is correct. Booyah, Katie! It is Gargoyles Demona Zero. Yeah, the Gargoyles books were huge when they first started coming out. I think they still, because I think they're on like issue 20 something. Like they've been going. Yeah, no, the Gargoyles books been doing well for them. So good for them.
Oh, good for me.
I don't know if this one's possible for you to guess, so I might just read this one and then go to the next.
Who's the publisher?
First, second books.
The Fly. No, that wasn't First Comics anyway. Whatever. Yeah, go for it. I have no idea.
It's Bad Kitty Gets a Job.
I mean, very popular children's book series. Good for you.
But I figured you were not getting.
President at one point.
Well,
there we go.
Good for Bad Kitty.
Good for Bad Kitty.
But so we're gonna jump over the Godzilla IDW book because we already talked about that to IDW's second Free Comic Book Day issue, and this is another one where I will give it to you if you can either guess like the kind of uniting thing, or if you can get any of the properties in it. But I only think you have a chance of getting one of the properties.
Is it the Turts?
It is not the Turts.
God damn it. God. Okay. Jeez, what does IDW put out?
Think about recent news segments, and you might be led. You think
I remember the news after we finish recording?
I hope that you do.
I don't.
I try to keep you educated on the comic book industry that we both work in.
Yeah, and IDW in here? No. Oh wait,
that's not gonna be helpful. I don't think.
It's because I want to look at the ads. Is it the Naruto crossover?
No. I told you it wasn't the Turts.
You did tell me it wasn't the Turts, and unfortunately I think this Turts book might only have Turts ads in it.
That makes sense.
Okay.
There's a lot of Turt books.
What on earth does IDW own? Do they own Sonic still? Is it Sonic?
No.
Fuck.
Get out of the licensed properties. You're gonna be in trouble there.
Did IDW do Beneath the Trees? Is it Beneath the Trees?
That is correct. That is one of the titles in it. The overwhelming theme is we recently talked about IDW's new IDW Dark horror line. Yeah, so there's an IDW Dark issue, including the Beneath the Trees sequel, and 30 Days of Night Falling Sun, which is a new vampire franchise.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm still counting that as a win for myself. Anytime I get it without you having to tell me, I count it as a win.
That's very fair.
No, it's not.
We have another one that I don't think you're gonna be able to guess, so I'm gonna give it to you, and then we're gonna jump to the next one very quickly. This is from Kodansha USA Publishing.
Never mind, give it to me.
It's Tower Dungeon and Isaac. I believe this is a manga being redone in the US or whatever.
Sounds about right.
Up next we have. Wait, did we already do this one? What was the Mad Cave? Do you remember the Mad Cave book from the last time? I think this. Unless this is this is different. This is different. I'm sorry. We did do another thing from Mad Cave. This is different.
Was the other Mad Cave from Battle Cats?
No, it was Speed Racer.
Oh right, it was Speed Racer, and I got that one.
It just dawned on me.
I got that one. I was so proud of myself.
Yeah. This one's more in line with some of the other things they were doing. Like you had gone there, and we were going through some of the things, and I was like, think more. What the fuck was the name of the
Gotcha Man.
Gotcha Man, and less like Dick Tracy, and that. I'm telling you now, think more Dick Tracy and Flash Gordon, and don't think more Gotcha Man.
Oh God, Dick Tracy.
No, it's a new property. No, it's a new property. I'll smack at you.
Oh, is it the Phantom?
That is correct. Oh my god! Good
Here's
guess,
the thing, I
Katie.
actually follow
Nailed
Mad Cave on various social media, so I do see their things.
Yeah. We're gonna jump to Marvel now. There's two different
Ooh.
Marvel
Oh
books that you have a
God.
chance at getting here, and a total of 4 properties across these two
Okay.
books. I'm only going to give you one if you don't get it, and we'll come back. But if you do
Okay.
get anything from these, but I will tell you, one of these, in the one that I'm looking at, one of the two is, I think, has been your first Marvel guess.
Is
like
it Marvel
every time
Voices?
I've thought of Marvel. That is correct.
Yes, they do a Voices every year. I knew it was
So we'll
bound
see.
to be right eventually.
We'll see now if you can get the other property that's in with
Okay.
Marvel Voices.
Okay. The other property that's in with Marvel Voices is Jeff the Shark.
No.
Damn.
Think. I don't know how to go from actually from
God.
Jeff the Shark to this. So get something else so I can help more.
Okay. Hawkeye. Maybe he's getting a new
No. Think more less popular.
Less popular than Hawkeye?
Yes.
That's just a low-hanging fruit roast of Hawkeye. Less popular than Hawkeye can't be any of the X-Men.
Nope.
Not the Fantastic Four. We already got them.
No. Yeah, stay out of those. We've already gone down those paths.
Is it a solo thing or a group thing?
It's a solo thing.
Okay. Is it...
I'll give you another hint if you don't get it right here.
Black Widow?
No. Smaller, and think media tie-in. I know you're not a big media person.
Oh,
but think,
God.
think
Is it something from the Thunderbolts?
No.
Damn it. I don't know any other MCU
Think
movies
less
that
popular.
Is it tied to the Marvels?
No, think less popular.
Howard the Duck?
Think less popular. I might be being mean, but I think this is the least popular thing Marvel's ever done.
Is it related to that one Wolverine movie with?
No,
I'll
tell you, it's related to one of the Avengers. I'm gonna give you a lot of information here because you might still not get it. I'm just gonna tell you. Think legacy hero of one of the Avengers.
Is it Ironheart?
That is correct.
There you go.
There you go.
I have no idea how she was received. Did she get a media thing recently?
Very poorly. Yeah. She was in, I think, the Black Panther movie, and I believe she's the second Black Panther movie, and I believe she's getting a TV show.
Good for her. We'll see if this turns people around on her. I feel like it's one of those things, kind of like Teen Lantern, where it's like, okay, you're letting a child do the job of like a very important.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the other thing is just like it's almost never. We've talked about this before. It's very rarely a good idea to do a legacy hero that is not related to the actual character that they're taking over.
Is she not?
I don't believe so.
I believe you. I don't know a single thing about her.
I know very little about her. I just know I know there was a very visceral reaction to her, which is why I was kind of goofing there. There's actually a third Marvel title too, but we'll come back to Marvel in a second.
Jeez. All right.
We're gonna jump to another one that involves a friend of well, this one actually, I guess saying a friend of the pod's rough because they've not been on the pod. This one involves a friend of the me.
What's Joe writing right now? What's Joe writing right now?
You have guessed the creator.
I've got the boy. It's Joe Corralo.
This is a 2-property crossover from Maverick. I don't know that you're going to be able to get it.
I don't know what he's writing right now.
Yeah, this is a Princess Guinevere and King Arthur crossover.
Cool.
As Joe Corallo is writing the King Arthur series for
Love that.
them.
I feel like it's very on brand for Mad Cave.
Yeah,
like King Arthur and Princess Guinevere.
It's particularly Maverick, but yeah, these are the like old cartoons. So yeah, whatever. We're gonna jump now to. I'm trying not to go so long because there's even more titles than there were last week.
All right.
But we're gonna jump to Oni Press here, and it's just a single property.
Is it the Elijah Wood one?
No. You're going to keep guessing that every time Oni Press is brought up, and eventually it's going to pay off for you. Exactly. Eventually we're going to be
Marvel
there.
Voices all over again.
No.
What else is Oni? Is it Rick and Morty?
No, that was a good guess, though. I like that guess.
Thank you.
I feel like that would have made a lot of sense for them to do as a free comic book day issue.
Yeah,
actually.
I think they have done Rick and Morty as free comic book day before.
Yeah, that makes a lot of
Um,
sense. That feels like a good move. But
what else does Oni have? Is it an IP or an original book?
that calling it an IP might be strong,
Oh no. Is it
but
like in?
technically
Is it one of those
IP.
not open license? You know, I always forget the word for it.
It's
What's
not
the?
public domain. No,
Okay.
no. It is something that
Um,
they paid to acquire. Is how I'll put it.
what the fuck? That just
This was
made it
a
so
this
much
was,
more
this was a
confusing.
big thing when it happened, and we talked about it on the pod.
Oh no. Um, they didn't buy Doctor Who, did they?
No, no, no. That's why IP is a strong word.
Yeah.
Um, I'll
Um,
tell you this: it's a comics original thing.
okay. Is it The Fly?
No, that
Because I
did
don't
recently
remember
come
this.
back though.
Did it?
Um,
Maybe that's why I
yeah,
keep guessing it.
through like a random publisher. Yeah. Anyway, I might
Was it
just give it to you
originally a
soon
big
because I
two?
don't think it's in your head right now. No,
Is it Arm Fall Off Boy? Wait, that was
no,
big
no.
two anyway.
It's not. I'm gonna make this so much worse. It's not a character.
Oh motherfucker! Did they? They're not the ones putting out Youngblood, are they?
No, no.
No.
It's not a series of characters either.
Oh god damn it! What the fuck? Um, you are making this so confusing, and it's not your
I know. I
fault.
might. Do you want me just to give it to you? Because
Give me one more hint.
it's an anthology.
Is it Creepshow? No,
No,
Image
that's
has
Skybound.
Creepshow still. Yeah.
That's Skybound. Yeah.
Fuck anthology. Uh,
Yeah. It feels like it's not in
oh, do
there.
they
Like that.
what did EC do?
That is correct. It is EC Comics.
Oh, sick.
Um.
Tales from the Crypt is what I was thinking of.
Yeah. The ones in this are Epitaphs from the Abyss, Cruel Universe, and Cruel Kingdom. But the book title of the book in general is EC Comics presents Blood Type Zero. Um.
Is it blood type 0 or blood type O?
No, it's blood type issue zero, like numbers
Oh.
like zero. Yeah,
I'm
sorry.
like, that would be
Uh,
pretty weird.
no,
I
no,
guess
no.
a
I
little
think I think the
fun.
joke is by doing blood type number zero, it looks like blood type O, but yeah,
That's cute.
it's
That's
like
cute.
I didn't
Because
say
these
the
comics
number.
are for
I often
everybody.
don't. We're gonna go next. This is another one where there's two from the publisher, so you can hit either, but you're absolutely not gonna hit one of them.
Okay.
So I will just tell you this one if you can't guess, and then we'll come back and you'll try to guess
Okay.
again later. But one of them is two properties, and one of them is I believe, creator owned, unless it's just something I'm not aware of. And this is from Paper Cuts.
Oh, motherfucker. God damn it. Captain Underpants.
No,
I don't know what Paper Cuts owns. God damn it. Is it fucking Disney? Is it a Disney thing?
no.
Damn it. Is it?
I'll tell you, both these are united under one like main property. It's just like two things in there in there. So really, you only have to guess the one property.
Is
And
it
thinking too deep into Paper Cuts is going to get you into trouble. That's my next tip.
Is it that old the Wacky Racers cartoon?
No, I quite like that
Damn,
guess though.
Damn. Yeah. I was like, Mad Cave got Speed Racer. Maybe they got some more cars going on.
Yeah, that is a good train of thought.
Oh,
Stay on
shit,
that
really?
train of thought. Yeah.
Is it something from like the Sunday Funnies?
No.
Like Dick Tracy?
No,
Okay.
I meant stay on your train of thought of thinking about Mad Cave and then going instead of like thinking
that's kind of
about
what I was going for because Dick Tracy was a Sunday funny.
That's
not really a funny, but
That's right.
Okay,
yeah,
what
that's
else
a good
does
train.
Mad Cave
That's the
have?
train you want. That's the train you want.
They created Nottingham. Is it something?
That's a bad train of thought. That's a bad train of thought. Get out of that train of thought.
God damn it. Who's related to Flash Gordon? I don't even fucking know.
There you go, right there, Flash Gordon.
Oh, okay.
They're doing a child version of Flash. They're doing Flash Gordon Adventures and the Girl from Infinity Adventures, which is a Flash Gordon character. Evidently.
All right.
So
sick.
Yeah, they're doing like a young Flash Gordon thing.
I dig it.
That's fun. And
Cute.
up next we have Rebellion Publishing.
Never even heard of Rebellion Publishing. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, evidently you
Do
don't know
you?
what Rebellion is.
Correct.
So
What
I think
is?
I just have to give it to you then, because I don't
Yeah.
think you're gonna hear.
What?
Rebellion is 2000 AD, and it is
Oh
2000
shit.
AD, the free
Okay.
comic book
Yeah.
day issue. There's just no way for me to be like, Rebellion does 2000 without giving you what the
Yeah, that's
the
correct.
book does. So
Yeah.
yeah. We'll move on.
Just hit
Up
me with
next we
the
have
Pipe Horror has worked for them.
yeah.
And I'd be like,
I could have done that.
2080.
Yeah, you're right.
It's
Up
worked
next
after
we have
1,000
Skybound,
years.
and you had gotten the one Skybound last time. We have another Skybound.
And the last one was the Energon, right?
It was the universe. Yeah.
And that includes G.I. Joe and Transformers.
That includes everything that Skybound is currently publishing, aside from the Creep Show anthology.
Okay, fair enough. And so this is part of the Energon universe?
That is correct.
God damn it. Is it G.I. Joe?
That is incorrect.
Is it Transformers?
That is correct. It is
Wonderful.
Transformers' worst bot ever, which is apparently a look at what appears to be a very goofy looking Transformer called Ballpoint, who I believe transforms into a pen.
Into a pen?
Which is,
that's pretty silly.
A little sad, yeah.
Sad. Nailed it. First try.
This is gonna be rough because this, like, you would be able to guess this property, but I don't think you'd be able to guess it from the publisher, because I've never heard of the publisher. The publisher is T-Pub/Twisted Comics.
Okay, I'm guessing Twisted Comics is like a kind of horror-y thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Is it Friday the 13th?
Nope.
Is that the right vein?
Not really. No,
Damn
not
it.
slasher. Don't go slasher.
Okay. Is it
very popular?
A Quiet Place?
No. A Quiet Place. We did talk about the fact that IDW does have the.
Oh, okay. It was that IDW
right.
has it. I remembered that we had talked about.
Yeah, that was part of IDW Park. No, the new segment that you've
gotcha.
completely erased from your mind because when we were
correct
there, yeah.
God damn it! So
think TV instead of movies. Think TV instead of movies.
Yeah, it's a scary TV show. I'll
give it to you soon because again we have a ton to go through. So I'll give it to you soon. And I'll give you like 2 more guesses here.
Scary TV show. That's on Stranger Things.
No, that's probably like kind of more in the right vein. Think like unsettling. I think more than like straight up scary.
Okay. Hannibal?
No. It's Black Mirror.
Oh, okay. I would not have guessed that.
That's fair. Up next is another one that I think I'm just gonna give you because I don't
single issues.
No. What?
I think it's I don't know. Like I think Black Mirror could lend itself well to comics, but I don't think single issues would work as.
Isn't Black Mirror's whole thing like every episode's a different thing though? Isn't it like Black Mirror?
You can fit a lot more into because they're like hour-long episodes.
Yeah, but like Netflix. You could do it, but differently in comics. I feel like. Anyway, I'm gonna just give you this one because this is another one that nobody's gonna be able to get. This is from Tokyo Pop, and it's called Stitch: Best Food Forever.
Is it Lilo and Stitch?
Is it? Oh, you're right. Looking up at the image, it does appear to be Lilo and Stitch. There is no full cover though. There's just the logo that says Stitch with Disney above it, which
iconic.
Yeah. Anyway,
wild.
We'll keep moving. We'll keep moving here to
grooving.
To Vault Comics with another one that you're not going to be able to get. And this is Def Leppard's Hysteria #0.
Wild.
Yeah, but we've now reached about the halfway point, so we're gonna go back
rapid fire
through.
I get 2 guesses for each one.
We have Alien Books, which I will give you the slight tip that Alien Books is the company that has been licensing Valiant.
Bloodshot.
Incorrect, but he is front and center on the cover.
Oh god, that deeply unhelps me. I don't know because my second guess is going to be Turok.
I don't think you're getting this.
I don't think so either. Hit me with it.
They're doing their own Marvel Zombies. This is Valiant Zombies Resurrection.
That's cute. That's cute.
Fun.
I'm here for it.
Up next, we have Dark Horse Comics. This is two properties. One,
Okay.
I guess I don't know if you call that licensed or not. One that's potentially could be considered. No,
God.
maybe not. Maybe that's a wrong vibe.
That's
calling it licensed is probably incorrect.
is it? Are you saying that because it was originally a comic? Again, is that
I'm saying that because the people making it, I believe, are the people who own it, but it feels like a licensed thing. You know,
okay?
that might be very deeply unhelpful. The other one's just a
God.
full blown creator-owned thing. So,
Is one of them Dawn Runner?
no.
Damn it. Because that's the
You are a
Ron
fan
one.
of this thing. So that's gonna be helpful.
Is it? What's Dark Horse put
One
out?
of the
Is
things.
it Heart Piercer? No.
No, that would be fun though.
Is it? Fuck. What else did Dark Horse put out?
And then I was
Art
we
Bound.
like this specifically you more.
Oh
more so
shit!
you.
Just me?
Yeah.
That's even worse.
Yeah, this is more so you.
I have to remember.
You made us
things
read a
that I
comic
like.
because of this thing.
Is it Helen of Windhorn?
No, you made us
Okay.
very recently read a comic because of this thing.
Oh, is it Critical Role?
It is Critical Role.
Okay,
there
yeah.
you go.
Yeah.
Do you want the other one, or do you want to try to guess the other?
The other one creator? Is the other one the full creator owned, or were you saying?
Yeah. The
okay.
Critical Role was the one where I was like, well, that's creative, but like that's
yeah.
That's why I was like, I don't know what like it is. They own it, so like, but yeah.
The other, so this one is full creator owned.
Yeah. This one's
something
a fairly
that's already like had books come out of it.
Yeah, this is like a thing that people know. It's not a thing that I think either one of us have read, but it's like it's something you will know of.
Is it? What's Dark Horse put out? What's Dark Horse put out? Is it Lobster Johnson? Is it?
No, I like that guess though. It's Black Hammer.
Okay, yeah. I will say he was gonna be my third guess.
Okay, well you know,
like once
no way to prove that.
You're like, yeah, that Lobster Johnson was close. Then I guess Abe Sapien was technically a Hellboy boy. Is he?
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah. He fully is.
Because I was gonna go
up next. We have Fantagraphics, and I don't think there's any chance you're gonna get this. So I'm gonna give you a very helpful hint that this is Fantagraphics doing one of their like other publisher things where they like do books like. I guess about's the wrong word, but like with other publishers' material. I don't know if that's helpful.
Will you tell me the publisher they're doing it with?
No, that's what you have to guess.
Oh, I have to guess what publisher they have taken material from, or licensed material from, or whatever.
Yeah.
Is it a comic publisher?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know what Fantagraphics is.
Oh, they're like the like fancy publisher that like they're like the like high art publisher kind of comics. Yeah. Like the fancy people. Fantagraphics are the fancy people. They do like all graphic novels for the most part.
I'm gonna play it safe and say Image.
Incorrect. Play it safer.
Marvel.
Correct. Lost Marvels. This is a preview sample of rarely or never collected 1970s Marvel comics.
Fun. Love that for them.
So yeah, we did that. Okay, we did for a second. We did IDWs. Okay, we have two from Keen Spot here. I don't know that you will get either of these.
Is one of them Can I Scream?
No.
Then
one
no, I will.
You can get things that is in it, but you're not going to get what it's called. But I believe it does have somebody on it that you do very much enjoy, just as I see the thing. Oh no, never mind. Sorry, they just have that name in here because they are apparently playing a character in a cartoon version of this thing. So never mind.
Oh, what the fuck?
Anyway, though, you might be able to get one of the things in that, but I don't think so. So just quickly guess a couple of Keen Spot creator properties, and then I'll give you.
The only one that I know is Can I Scream?
Oh, okay.
Do you want other Keen Spots?
I mean, I thought you'd heard of some. I've definitely mentioned some to you. This is one that I picked up and talked about on the pod briefly, the fact that I picked it up. But you probably won't remember that. That's fine.
No.
The one I was thinking of is Robot Plus Girl. There's also Zora, Kid Slapshot, Happy Astronaut, and Kung Fu Legume. Kung Fu Legume, which is the one that is Oh no, sorry, that's not the one. There's also Squish, Squash, and Globble, and Grubs. Grubs is the one that is starring Felicia Day, which is the name I
Oh,
saw that I
cute.
know you are
Yeah,
a big fan of.
we love
Anyway,
Felicia
that's going
Day
to be
in the
called the
towers.
Keen Spot Toy Box Special because I guess
Cute.
they're playing with a bunch of their toys,
Hmm.
Anyway, the other one is called Mark Spears Monsters. But as we keep moving here, we did Mad Cave. We are going to get to the two other Marvel books. One of them
Oh
is two
God.
properties, and one of them is a single property. I'll tell you the two properties one are a couple of their more child versions of existing properties through like child cartoons and such. So we'll see what we
Um,
come with that.
is it Power Pack?
That is incorrect.
Damn it.
That is a wild, that is a deep cut guess right there. That would be, if it was Power Pack, I would have said to you less popular than Ironheart, and that's how we would have gotten the Power Pack.
Here's the thing. You must understand the amount of Marvel I consume, because I don't normally consume it on my own. The Marvel that I most like consume just through like seeing in the world is the shit that people didn't want, so they sold to my store. So like
the Power Pack pilot episode or whatever it was.
I think the one that I'm thinking of, Wolverine in the Power Pack, was a series for a while.
I didn't know that was a thing. Wild.
It was a kids comic. Okay, so kids cartoon
with arguably
Marvel.
a couple of their biggest characters.
Is it like Spider-Man and Friends? I know that was a thing.
Spidey and His Amazing Friends is correct.
Rad.
And then the other one is similar, but with another one of their biggest characters.
Thor.
No, bigger.
Iron Man.
That is correct. Iron Man and His Awesome Friends is the other one. And now just straight up Marvel big property, go. Something we have not hit on in the other Marvel things, including last week. Nope. I said we haven't hit on it. We did an X-Men book last week. Yeah,
okay, well, Wolverine doesn't necessarily necessitate.
That's what I'm saying. No, I'm saying no overlapping. There's no overlapping.
Zero overlapping.
Zero overlap.
Black Panther?
I didn't say big character. I said big property.
Oh, big property. Fuck. We did Fantastic Four last week. Is it just the Avengers?
No, incorrect. I said no overlap.
I didn't remember if we did Avengers last week.
We just did an Iron Man thing. No overlap.
Right. Zero overlap, and it's not
zero
a character.
Zero overlap. Like less than zero overlap. Like nobody in this book will have ever interacted with anybody in any of the other books. That's I think the most helpful I can be. That's the most helpful I can be.
Too helpful.
You're welcome.
Jesus Christ! Who exists outside of all of these? Like my next guess is going to be Guardians
Marvel,
of the
publisher.
Galaxy.
It doesn't mean the book's in the Marvel universe.
Yeah, you're right. Is it a Disney thing? Is it a Star Wars thing?
There you go. Star Wars #1. Launching the new line of Star Wars books. But anyway, up next we have NBM graphic novels. I don't think you're going to be able to get this, so I'm going to give you a quick hint. This is a biography of a man who has awards named after him.
Is it Will Eisner?
This is a Will Eisner biography. There you go. Nailed it.
First try. Needed.
You got the Flash Gordon paper cuts. There's another paper cuts book called Hero Bear and the Kid, which I don't think you would have ever guessed. So we're gonna just quickly move by that to another thing that you're not gonna guess. This is Penguin Young Readers Creaky Acres, a graphic novel. Up next we have Scholastic / Graphics.
Okay, is this one Captain Underpants?
No, this is another one where they're borrowing from another publisher's properties.
Am I guessing the publisher or the property?
You can start with the publisher, and then
is it DC?
Or do you want me? I can tell you the other publisher, and then you can try to get it. It's Marvel. They're borrowing from Marvel.
Thor.
Incorrect.
I keep
you
guessing
really want
Thor.
it to be Thor.
I don't know.
Really want it to be
I feel
Thor.
like Thor has big free comic book day energy.
Does he? I feel like he's like a fairly like people who want Thor, and they don't want other things. Like I don't know that he's a very like mass appeal character.
I suppose. Is it another Spider-Man?
No.
Is it The whole ass Avengers.
Incorrect.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Incorrect.
Is it a
I'm
character or a
giving you two
team?
more guesses. It's a character.
Okay. Is it Ironheart?
Incorrect.
um, okay, so Scholastic has licensed this from Marvel. Scholastic
Yep.
makes kids content. Um,
Yes. This
Scholastic
is all correct.
would want to license. Is it someone I've guessed already?
Like, I don't think wildly no. Actually,
Oh,
it's kind of wild you haven't guessed this character for anything yet.
Yikes.
I don't think you've guessed this character for anything
I
yet.
don't
but
think
it's wild.
Scholastic would take Daredevil. I don't think Scholastic would take. And are they are they normally a part of a team?
Yes.
Okay. Are they an X-Men?
No. I love how the one more guess has just led to you asking a bunch of questions that aren't actually.
It's because here's the thing: you put the pressure on with the one more guess. Because thus far there hasn't been one that I haven't eventually gotten that you didn't give me immediately.
Yeah.
Okay. Are they normally on the Avengers?
Yes.
Okay.
We're just playing 20 questions now.
Yeah, basically. I don't know if Black Panther's normally on the Avengers. I don't know the Avengers line up well enough to have asked that question. Is it Captain America?
Incorrect.
Fuck.
This is
Black Panther, I'll cry.
Hulk Teach.
Oh, that tracks. I have in fact just forgotten about Hulk. Sorry about
Yeah,
me.
you really had not, like, Hulk had not been passing through anything so far.
No.
That's why I was like, I don't know if this is gonna go. Up next is from 10 Speed Graphic. You're not gonna get this.
Nope.
This is called Champion, which is a basketball book written by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, wildly.
Crazy.
Up next, we have Titan Comics, and I'm going to give you something that might help you if you think about it a little bit. It's written by Cullen Bunn, and this is a licensed property.
Okay. Well, it's Dark Horse that has Arkham Horror, which Cullen Bunn is currently writing. Cullen Bunn.
It's in that vein. It's in that vein, kind of.
I'm curious about why this would help. Knowing that.
Think about Cullen Bunn. Think about the things that he does.
I was gonna ask, is it something that he's done before, or is it just in the vein?
But it's in the vein of the things that he's hired to do.
So he's normally a spooky boy. We love Cullen Bunn doing spooky things.
But think of the other side of that. In addition, what else? What other medium does he tend to write books from?
Comedy horror?
No, like medium. Like what adapted medium does he tend to do stuff from? You just mentioned a thing, like
board games. Is that like
but not necessarily. Get rid of board. He does. He does games.
Oh,
does
he do games?
This is a video game.
I did not know that he did games.
Yeah.
I feel like if I'm trying to think through games that are super big, I'm gonna guess, is it The Last of Us?
No.
Damn it.
Not. I don't think it's quite as big, but maybe it is. It's a really big game, so it's
like
a different
current
kind
game?
of game.
Or is it an older one?
Both. It's a game that's been around.
Okay.
Been around the block.
Is it Left 4 Dead?
No. I don't know enough about this game to be incredible. Like, obviously I know of this game, but I don't know enough about this game to be incredibly helpful.
That's fair, but it is a spooky game.
Yeah, one would certainly say that, I believe.
Is it Silent Hill?
No. Maybe it's not like, as far as I'm aware, I don't think it's a straight up like horror game, but it's like it has the horror elements,
Understood.
It's not like you're going to be scared while you're playing this game, I don't think. Again, I don't know much about this game.
Do you know if this is a game that I have played?
I don't think you have.
Okay. Because my next guess was going to be Resident Evil, because I keep trying to get you to play Resident Evil with me.
Yeah, no, I don't believe you've played this game, but it's a very popular game. But I know very little about it, so I could be giving the worst directions here. Because it's fully based off of the vibes of what I think this game is. I don't think I've ever seen a second of gameplay from this game.
Is it scary games that aren't really scary? Is it Doom?
No. That feels... again, I don't know anything about this game, but that feels more right. That feels closer.
Okay.
There are definitely people like shouting at me like, "That's not what this game is." Like, what are you talking about, Joseph?
Maybe I'll shout at you after.
Please do. I genuinely don't know like anything about this game.
It. Okay, so it's not
except that it's very popular.
And it has been very popular.
I feel like people talk about playing like this game for like a long amount of time. No, it's not Bloodborne. That also feels though like more on the right track. Again, I could be fully wrong, but that feels right.
I suppose I should ask: is it Dark Souls?
That felt right.
Like I don't want to like.
That also
guess...
feels more right though. That also feels more right.
I don't want to guess Bloodborne and
this
then have it be Dark Souls.
At least in my head, like these feel more right than like guessing the like full blown spooky games.
Gotcha.
But again, I don't know anything about this game, so this feels incredible.
Is it Dishonored?
No, I think it's way bigger than that. But I also just might not know how big Dishonored is.
That's fair. It got the second one.
This has had 4. That might be helpful.
4?
This has had 4. Yeah. Or it's had at least 4 because this one's based off of 4, and I personally do not know what this is on, but I assume it's on the most modern one.
God fucking damn. That's such a good hint. But
I'm trying my best for a property that I know nothing about, and the cover has not been revealed yet, so I can't even look at the pictures for help.
Is it Dead Island? I think that has 4.
No, bigger than that. This is like a big thing. Like a big thing.
God damn it. What has 4 games?
This is like big, like and like no, but this is like big, like sad gamer energy, like you know, full blown like loser gamer energy. You know, like it's kind of like one of those.
Well,
like
there's
Dark
only
Souls.
one League of Legends.
It's got very similar vibes to Dark Souls. You know, at least in my head where I sort it. But I've actually played Dark Souls, so I know what that looks like. I don't know what Diablo. Oh no. No, it's Diablo.
I have also never played Diablo. I think that it is.
That was actually the second time I almost did that. Like there was an earlier time where I almost said the game's name and I went, "This game." I forgot to correct myself there. So
I honestly should have guessed Diablo. One of my pals was very obsessed when Diablo 4 came out.
Diablo from Titan Comics, but that feels very much like a Cullen Bunn thing, and it is a Cullen Bunn thing.
It is a Cullen Bunn thing.
Next up, we have 2 things from Udon Entertainment.
Which is like manga one.
I think it's
like I could picture the logo. It's like a bowl of noodles logo, right?
That is correct. So you don't need help. You know when
Easy Naruto.
No, one is a video game.
Okay.
The other is, I believe, also a video game.
Oh,
I don't know much about this character.
Final Fantasy.
I think he's also a video game. No.
He's also a video game?
Yes, that's a hint for one of them, and the other one is just a video game, and I know that it's a video game, but this one I think is a video game. I'm very sorry, because we're learning that I know very little about video games that aren't like just online play with your friends video games, because I'm not like a hardcore gamer at all.
Hardcore gamers, get in the comments.
If anybody watches all this news segment, they're going to be very mad at me for the way I handled a bunch of these things.
Okay.
I feel like for once somehow this got turned on me, and I look like a bigger idiot than you do, just by me making you guess things.
I'm so pleased. So there's 2, and they're both based on video games. One of them being based on a video game character.
Yes, that is a very good description, I believe.
Okay.
I think, actually, I can look up if this is a video game. I think this is a video game.
Okay.
Yes, it is. Okay. That is correct.
Right.
It is a video game.
Is it someone from Mortal Kombat?
No, but that's a really good vibe for the non-character one.
Oh. Soul Calibur?
No, but you're on the right vibes right now.
Smash Bros.
You're getting the worst vibes.
Okay, rad. So Mortal Kombat is my closest vibe. What other fucking Street Fighter?
I might say Soul Calibur is the closest. Yep.
Okay.
There you go.
Sick.
Nailed it.
Sick. Is the character from Street Fighter?
It's Street Fighter versus Rival Schools, by the way, is the name of the free comic book day issue. No, the other character is a separate thing.
Okay. Are they also from a fighting game? You just looked it up.
No.
Did it look like it?
No. They are their own thing.
They're their own thing?
Yeah.
Is their game named after them?
Yes. That's what I meant by their own thing.
Okay, that's kind of what I thought you meant.
Yeah, no. Good clarifying question.
Is it Ethan Wake?
No, I
No.
don't. That no,
I'm
that's
trying to think
too.
of video
Unless
games
I,
that are named
unless I'm
after their
stu-
main characters.
No, bigger than that. Like this is people have heard
Oh,
of this. Like even I, who have never engaged with this at all, like I've heard of this.
God damn it. Oh, geesh.
And you got to think about the vibes too, right? You know, like the vibes
Like,
of the publisher that puts out like Street Fighter. You know, like
yeah,
there's
yeah,
there's a
yeah.
vibes thing. You know.
There's a vibes thing.
Yeah.
The problem is it's the exact kind of game that I hate to play. I hate playing like 1v1.
It's not a fighting game. I'll give you that. The
Okay,
vibes I meant more
okay.
like a like cultural vibes, if that makes sense.
Is it Metroid?
No, but that's real good vibes right there.
Oh,
that was a
okay.
real good
Okay.
vibes for this character. Very, very similar vibes.
Okay. Shit.
That was a
There's
real
similar
good.
vibes
I'm
to
glad the vibes
Samus.
did not lead you astray though, because that was a good. What'd you just say?
I'm
Did you
trying
guess
to
something?
think
Or
of
did you
who's
just say
similar
Samus?
to Samus. I'm just
Okay,
talking about Metroid.
that's what I was like. I thought you just said Samus. And I'm like, that can't be its own guess. So.
Oh, fuck. Is it Donkey Kong?
No,
No,
that was way
mostly a
worse
joke.
vibes.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
much worse vibes.
Okay. So we're kind of living in the vintage video game land with this.
Yes,
Like,
we are.
We're living in the pixelated world.
Yes, we are. 100% we are.
Who else is it Duke Nukem?
No.
Shit.
Again, this is big. Like this is
Duke
a
Nukem's
bigger
big.
Is Duke Nukem big? I've never heard of that
Nukem is
before
big.
in my life. I have a
Um,
very me-centric view of the world. No, I've just never heard of it, so I
that's so fair. Oh, I'm so
Yeah.
mad because I thought that was a really good guess.
I'm sorry. No, but I am telling you, Metroid was such good vibes. Like,
Okay, here's the thing. The secret, coming close here, Joseph. I don't know shit about Metroid.
I don't either. They just look real similar.
Okay, who is like a round spacesuit?
Yep. There you go.
Oh shit! I hate that I'm right because now it's making me look bad.
For once, we just go like the vibes work perfectly. Like I've given you the correct vibe,
Who the fuck was a
despite knowing
round-ass
nothing about this
spacesuit?
character. This one did have a cover though, unlike that Diablo, so I can actually look at the thing.
Okay. I know that you've given me a lot, and I know that we're
I've
very
given you
close.
a
Can you
lot.
give me anything else?
Blue.
Blue.
The suit is blue.
Blue suit, round. Mega Man.
That is correct.
Hell yeah.
Was I
Hell
wrong?
yeah.
Like that's such Metroid vibes. Like that. That
It's
was
big
the,
Metroid vibes.
Yeah,
My problem is that
was
my frame of reference for Mega Man is mostly the cartoon rather than the video game. Like a fool.
That's fair. That's why I was like, but I was like, I'm pretty sure this originated as a
It
video
is,
game.
yeah,
That's why
yeah.
I had to like go. I was like,
You
I'm
little
like
dude.
90% sure, but if I'm letting you astray, okay. I think I just have to give you the last one. I think that was a very good last guess. Thing.
Yes.
This is Viz Media,
It was an
and I
odyssey.
don't think you're gonna get Kagurabachi / Boruto 2 Blue Vortex.
I'll have you know, I just guessed Naruto for this other one, and Boruto is the sequel to Naruto. So
Is that
I
true?
almost could have gotten
Is it actually? Is it?
I
did not
believe
know that.
Boruto is Naruto's son.
I fully
I'm
believe
like
you.
20% sure.
I just didn't know that. Oh
Don't
yeah, Naruto.
fully believe me.
No, Naruto is in the description. It says Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, Naruto once a mischievous. That is, you seem correct. So that is
Hell
all
yeah.
of the Free Comic Book Day issues. I am
Beautiful.
so sorry for
Not a
how long that
bronze
took. There
tier?
were a lot more silver ones than there were gold ones. I don't
There's
think
not
there's a
a
bronze
there's a
tier.
bronze. Okay, thank fucking
I don't
Christ. So
think there's
this
a bronze
isn't happening again.
The
next
one
week.
thing left to come is DC's, because, and there might be a few others now too, but it's basically through the people who don't use Diamond, because Diamond's like the big thing that does free. So the non-Diamond ones kind of do their own thing. So this should be all of Diamond's Free Comic Book Day issues have now been announced, and then people like DC will do
that's
their
why
own
you
thing.
didn't see any of Scouts in there.
They're still coming out through Diamond. It was Luna that
Oh,
dropped
they
them.
got dropped from Luna. Well, whatever.
Yeah.
The reason you didn't see any of Scouts is because they're broke. They can't afford to give out free comics.
Actually, I think they had a book come out this week that actually came out. Like I saw it on the thing. I was like, wow. They had a book come out. But it's through that imprint that they're like actually still paying attention to. The only thing they're still paying attention to. Was it Dark Harbor? No, it's Dark Harbor, the one they're paying attention to. The like new version of Black Caravan because Anyway,
Anyway,
that was long. I apologize. But I really enjoy Free Comic Book Day issues. I like talking about that. It's
he likes
I
making
think for
me
comic book
guess.
fans, it's like the best day of the year for comic book fans. We
It's
get
a
free
delight.
books. Like,
I
who
don't
doesn't
know.
love
There
that?
are more kids in the comic shops than I prefer on new Free Comic Book Day.
That's fine. Get the books, get out, go home, meet a bunch of books for free. It's a great day. Make sure you buy something at the store, though. Don't, support your store that's going through all the work of doing Free Comic Book Day.
And taking on the cost of Free Comic Book Day. They have to buy those issues.
Yeah. Well, they buy them at cost.
Yeah.
But yeah.
They
but
do
like, Yeah, no, that obviously still.
It's not like they're getting cost from it.
No, absolutely. But yeah.
Yeah, I always use Free Comic Book Day as a day to splurge a little bit. Last year, I bought like 4 issues from the original Teen Titans run.
Nice. Last year, I filled out so many of like the random Green Lantern issues. I got a bunch of those like Flashpoint Green Lantern issues, and then some Silver Age stuff, and I got some of the cartoon tie-ins from the Green Lantern show. It was a good day. In any case,
we love Free Comic Book Day.
Let's talk about books that aren't free.
Yes, that we paid money for.
Okay, so we have a bunch of continuing series in the pull list rec this week. No new number ones for I think the first time in a while. I'm not going to engage with that.
I love number ones. My comic man makes fun of me every time I ask him for a book. He's like, "Oh yeah, I forgot. I should grab you just anytime a new number one of an indie comes out. I should put that on your list." I'm like, "You should."
Yeah, that was what my other store did. My new store just has too many people to care about.
Because he clocked you for all the weird indies.
Yeah. Which, listen, in his opinion, that just meant anything that wasn't like IDW, Dark Horse, Image, or the Big Two. But in any case, today we have The Body Trade, issue 3, Ultimate Spider-Man, issue 11, Titans, issue 17, The Moon is Following Us, number 3, and Katie's gonna have to show off the Magma comics because my store was one of the stores that was hit with the 1-week delay from Magma. We've got the Pedestrian 4 and Night of the Slashers, issue 2, which I had to read digitally.
I got the variant of Night of the Slashers because I was like, "Oh, it has a dog on it." We'll get to it.
Fancy.
We'll get to
very
it.
fancy, very fancy. But Katie, of course, that's not all we picked up.
You don't know.
What else you got?
Maybe I got nothing. Maybe no. It was a week of me going, "Ooh, I've heard about that. Ooh, I've heard about that.
I had a light week,
I forgot to take that off my pull list."
Yeah, that's always the one.
And it's like I can't.
Now I'm going to ask you every single book you pull up. I'm going to go, is that the one you forgot to take off your pull list? And you're going to have to admit too.
Oh, I will openly, shamelessly. Up first is the question. All Along the Watchtower, gotta see them lesbians.
Yep.
Then we've got the Rocket Fellers, a Ghost Machine book. Both of those books that we were going to read, and then we had too many books this week.
Yeah, and we're gonna have a bunch of those next week coming up as well. So that'll be.
And then this, fun. I just forgot to get the previous week. It's just Batgirl number 1.
Okay.
Yeah. Then go on, ask your question, Jay. It's Arkham Horror number 3.
Yeah. That's still on my League of Comic Geeks pull list, but it's not,
Like, I want to read it. I want to see how it's going.
It's you enjoy that game, so
I do.
An extra level of thing.
There's the translation of board game to linear narrative, not the best. But then we've also got Batman and Robin Year 1, number 2.
Another one that we were just way too full on this week to start reading, but last month was the call.
And then another one that was a weird one last month, Minor Arcana number 3. I don't understand what the release on that was.
I have my issue here too. Yeah. I think the physicals were delayed a week, but they still just released the digitals, and so Yeah. That was a weird thing.
And then we've got Sir number 4, which is lesbians jousting on motorcycles. And Spectrum, number 1, which I've been hearing really exciting things about. What about you, Jay Bird? You have a light week. You're flying.
Yeah, it was just that Minor Arcana issue 3 finally coming through, and then the first issue of TMNT Naruto, the new crossover.
And as we just heard in the news,
and I did get the variant cover that has Leonardo Naruto running because that felt necessary.
That is astounding. That is necessary.
Yeah, right.
And as we
Right.
know from the news we just did, Jay is the biggest Naruto fan ever. We ended the news with you talking about your Naruto fandom. And
Yeah,
knowing so much about
I knew
Naruto.
about Baruto, who is Naruto's son, I think.
I think. And
So
it's
yeah,
Boruto. You fool.
that's basically what I said.
Yeah, you very East Coasty boy today. Yeah, I saw Baruto.
Katie's just gonna incite me to start making fun of her pronunciations even more, you know.
Try it. The Midwestern accent is the most normal one in the world, and I don't even really have it. Suburbs, bitch. Are you thinking of a word?
This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun. That's not an accent thing. That's a me thing.
Also, that's a future thing. I'm so sorry, dear listeners.
The thing of my mouth does not work in that combinations of shapes.
I have the same thing with the word. You know the gate on castles that like cranks
a drawbridge.
Up? Nope, the one that cranks up and like drops. It's got spikes on the bottom and it's like a great gate.
A drawbridge.
No. You crank it up into the thing and then it falls straight down. It starts with a P. It starts with the syllable port and ends with the syllable cullis. I can't say them together.
Okay.
It doesn't work.
That's a rough word. That's a rough word though.
Yeah.
In general.
I always throw a little extra in there, a little portcullis.
Yeah. Anyway, we have fully derailed. Katie, give me an order.
Oh fuck, it's me, isn't it? Okay.
We have two from the same publisher this week for the first time in a while.
Sure do. We're gonna start with Ultimate Spooderman. We are going to. That's right, the Spooch. Even though Brian Buccellato is not writing it.
I know where that comes from now, though. It's because you always call it Ultimate Spooderman.
Spooderman. That does make sense. We were confused by our own note-taking document.
Yeah.
Then we are going to follow it with The Moon is Following Us. The Spoon, if you will. Moof. And we will follow that with Night of the Slashers. Then the Pedestrian.
Heads.
Then the Bodie Trode.
Bodies.
But that... Oh, I forgot Titans.
Yeah, you did not Titans say all the books.
It's because I don't have a physical of Titans.
So we'll finish off with Titans then?
I think we start with Titans. We always start with DC.
We start with Tootens. We're gonna tootin' all over them.
Nope. He put so many O's in the word tootin'.
Don't worry, you'll learn why in the Creator Corner today.
That's right. Again, we're blessed with the foresight. But in any case, we're gonna jump right into things with Titans number 17.
Let's do it.
Titans number 17. It's a new day in the DCU, and the future is bright. Why, then, are the Titans looking backwards, reliving their most horrific and traumatic moments again and again, stuck in an endless loop? And who's the temporal tyrant behind this time-bending torment? Here's a hint. Time will tell. Very coy DC editorial, since we didn't reveal who the bad guy was last issue. The writer here is John Layman of In Hell We Fight and Chew. The artist and colorist is Pete Woods of Robin and Action Comics, and the letter is Wes Abbott. It's a new dawn in the DCU, including in the Titans. And we didn't love the Titans when Tom Taylor was writing the Titans. How are you feeling?
Why are you gonna start with negativity right off the bat?
I'm not.
That was negativity. Don't harsh the vibes. Don't harsh the vibes.
Okay, I'm so sorry. We quite enjoyed the last issue of Titans where John Layman took over writing the Titans.
That's true. I let because I'm horrible at keeping my feelings. I let it slip to Katie right before we started recording. I said, because Katie has pushed back this recording twice, so I read all of these days ago compared to right before. Like typically, I said, this issue has very much stuck in my mind, and I feel like this is going to be one of those issues that sticks in my mind for a long time, because it's an incredibly unique and interesting issue, both from a writing and from a visual standpoint, because a lot of it is I don't think it's spoilers if it happens in like the first page or whatever.
No.
Clock King has hooked up the Titans to these like memory devices because he doesn't just want their secret identities. He wants everybody's secret identities, everybody's secrets. I love it. I love the immediate like hugeness of that, and not like in a the world's going to be destroyed way, but in a, like all superheroes are going to be in danger.
One of those things where it's like not the world is going to be destroyed, but their world is going to be destroyed.
Yeah, exactly. It's a really great way to do stakes in a universe that's constantly in danger. And we immediately get into these like beautiful like blasts through people's memories. There's a 2-page splash that I want to get to.
Gorgeous.
That is phenomenal. Let's give Pete Woods his flowers, because in the first issue we were saying like it looked good, but we didn't know how it was going to be when we were getting into stuff, because we didn't get a lot of that in the first issue. When we're getting into stuff, it's phenomenal.
Yes.
It's so good.
It's so dynamic.
Yeah, it's incredibly dynamic. And
which I think
the biggest thing I want to give credit to... Oh, yeah. No, you keep going.
It fits super duper well with what I think we were saying about his art last time around, which is that it's very expressive. Like, he does a lot of, like, kind of theatrical expressions on his characters' faces. And pairing that with the super dynamic and dramatic art works so well. So well. But what were you saying?
Fully agreed. Yeah, I was about to pivot out of there, so I'm glad you gave a little bit more attention to the art. But the other thing I love here is the like balance in what the characters get to do and say. Like, it feels so well balanced for a team book. It's like basically every character outside of, you know,
kind of
maybe
Raven.
Yeah. That's kind of where I don't know if they got a ton to do here, but that's, you know.
But
fine.
like, it's 22 pages and there's like
exactly. You can't compare it like. The other five characters in this issue all got stuff to do, all got interactions, all got, you know, nice little moments and beats. They were all jumping in, and it wasn't even like, I think a lot of books go like your turn, my turn. Like, this was just a good, consistent, like, everybody's going to be talking with Clock King, everybody's going to be interacting with the villain, everybody's going to be having those moments. It was just so about, like, team books are really hard to do.
They are.
But I think we talked about the fact that we knew from In Hell We Fight that John Layman had at least some chops for doing that kind of thing. And it really, really is translating. Like, it just feels like a good team book where the cast is not just like a cast of comic book characters, but actually like a bunch of characters in the same place at the same time.
Yeah, and I think you hit on something really important there, which is that everybody kind of is there, but nobody is like it doesn't feel like they're taking turns, and then it's basically like a bunch of short bits of them. John Layman knows when to lean into the kind of central character of the issue, when to kind of pull back a little bit. Like, the central character in this issue is Donna. Like, she gets the kind of moment, and it doesn't feel like it was at the expense of the other characters, which I thought was huge. And it felt really well wrapped up. Like, everybody was affected by this. The way that they resolve it is so fucking rad. Absolutely loved it. And this...
Fully agree.
Like, a little bit paired with the previous issue, but even just standing on its own is such a good, like, episodic comic. Which
really I think goes with, like, when I say an issue that's going to, like, stick in your head for, I think that's the thing. Like, it essentially is a one-shot in some ways. Like, it hits the fuller story, but it is a full story of, like, you start with them, you know, getting, like, I guess, captured, essentially. So they're captured by the villain. They're in a tough spot, and then by the end of it, that has been resolved, and we're going to, you know, more is to come. But
and with it's a one issue, great road laid out ahead. Oh, I was
about to say that we can't really spoil it, but I'm just gonna say somebody's back where he belongs.
That's right. Wally's back on the team. Just kidding.
Wally's no. Listen. I'm not gonna say Wally belongs on the Titans. Wally belongs on both teams.
Wally's doing his best life right now, and that's fine. That's fine.
I love Wally.
Any final thoughts on Titans?
No, just that this was rad, and I'm really, really enjoying this so far, and I'm very excited for more.
Super fucking hype for all that is coming from this creative team.
Fully agree.
Are you ready to talk about oh no, I dropped the book. Spider-Man.
I am. Let's do it. Ultimate Spider-Man 11. Who is the Ultimate Black Cat? Tensions rise between Spider-Man and Green Goblin in the wake of recent events, and a new villain steps up to the plate. What is her connection to the Black Cat on Kingpin's Sinister Six? The writer is, of course, Jonathan Hickman of Avengers, Fantastic Four, and X-Men. The artist is David Messina of Rom, Cloak and Dagger, and Catwoman. The colorist is Matt Wilson, and the letterer is Coy Petit. Katie, take it away.
I just want to start out because we've talked a lot about the art on Ultimate Spider-Man and the kind of Tricchetto of it all, because Marco Tricchetto is absolutely bonks. Messina's doing such a fucking good job.
Back-to-back issues with Messina here. Back-to-back issues, interestingly. Might be the first time that's happened, I think.
I feel like there was 2 in a row where it was like 4 and 5 or something. Or like I think he
You're right. You're right. The Goblin one and the other one, right? Yeah. I believe you're correct. Yeah.
I really like the way that he does his art. I like the way that he does. I feel like one of the good things with Spider-Man is when it feels like he's like contorting himself in weird ways and is like doing weird acrobatic things. And this feels very acrobatic. I really like Messina's art quite a bit. Very acrobatic boy. I'm really excited to hear what you think, because we have there's this opening bank robbery sequence where Pete does a lot of quipping, which you aren't normally a fan of. I quite liked the quipping here. How did you feel?
I never love it. It's, fine. It's a little like obnoxious that he can't just it's like that comic book thing where it's like just get the information. It's gonna take 2 seconds to let this man finish his sentence, and you're like, no, bank robbery must go. It's like, you don't have to even continue talking. Just say, I'm gonna do this. You tell me, and then I'm gonna hang up. Like, it's a little comic booky moment. It doesn't detract from anything, but it's just that thing where I'm like, there is no reason for him not to get this information right now. Like, let's be real. But I'm not a big quip guy. Like, it's not gonna change in this because of this intro.
Oh yeah, for sure. I was reading it. I was like, I've enjoyed this so much, and then like the black lines descended over my face. I'm like, oh, poor Joseph, reading a Spider-Man book with quips.
No, but it's like But are guns really the answer? It is the Spider-Man, and look, I know transaction fees are out of control, and God forbid you try to cash a check or withdraw your money, but it's like,
I think because I hear it and, like, I feel like I have a very strong mental voice of Peter Parker that gives a lot of charm to that. Shout out Yuri Lowenthal for his work in the Spider-Man games.
Oh, I mean, he's great.
Yeah.
Also Ben 10, importantly. Love that man.
Wild. Also, Titan's Grave, Ashes of Volcana on Geek and Sundry. the great thing is,
but it's also a thing we talk. I don't want this to devolve into a quick. But it's also a thing of like the thing of like the time in a fight. It's like they're all pointing their guns at him. Why, while he's giving this long ass speech, do they not shoot him? Like, why is that just happening? Why are they just letting him quip?
I'm fine with it.
It's a little thing. I know this. I wasn't gonna go into complaining about it. Like, you made the whole "it's a Spider-Man book." That's why I wasn't gonna go into complaining about. But you asked how I feel about the quips, and this is how I feel about quips.
Which is
I don't
so
like
fair.
it.
Like, I appreciate that is how you feel, even if I disagree with you.
Like, I prefer it like on the bookends if it has to be. Like, take them down and then quip. Like, you don't have to be quipping throughout the pages. But anyway, that's just a slight.
Anyway, Mr. Negative is so fucking cool. He's so fucking rad. The way that he
full Spider-Man video game here.
The Spider-Man video game is just so fucking good.
It's just me and Katie's like only exposure to Spider-Man, which is why that's where we're coming back
that too.
To. Yeah.
Hey, we read Ultimate Spider-Man before this, and I didn't like it.
You didn't like it. I did. I thought it was quite good. Solid.
I love that for you.
The coloring, especially on the first couple issues, was rough. But
and that definitely affected things. I really like Pete's relationship with MJ. I feel like they have a very a lot of this book I feel like is tonally built around Peter and his relationships, and the way that the tone of those relationships stays consistent. Like, it doesn't feel like Peter is like different people with these different people, which is super important in a book where like a lot of what's going on is how Peter is relating to other people.
Yeah.
So I think that remains super strong. Hickman just is really good at writing this, and it's
Oh, yeah.
such a fun time to read.
He fits so well. But also, because I mentioned the coloring really quickly, I want to, because I don't think we've talked about the coloring in Ultimate Spider-Man yet. I feel like it's so unique. Like, I feel like Ultimate Spider-Man has, like, a very, like, almost
It's
like,
very.
it feels like it has a specific lighting that other books don't have, if that makes sense.
That's what I was gonna
Like,
say.
it just looks so specific, and I really think it's because of the coloring. Because across
That's
both artists,
super
it's got
fair,
this
yeah.
very specific look. I know, like, the way that the reds look in this book and the way that the
I was
yellows
gonna
look
say,
in
I
this
think
book.
a big thing is like the saturation and vibrancy of specifically
Yeah.
Spider-Man, because like flipping through, not everyone.
And it's also
is
different
super
in, like, the
vibrant.
home scenes. Like, the home scenes are, like, kind of cooler, and then, like, the exterior scenes are like, you know, a little bit, you know,
Yeah,
brighter.
and I think that it does a lot to, like you're kind of saying with the home and the Spider-Man scenes,
Yeah.
it does a lot to kind of pull those in different directions, where when Peter's being Spider-Man, it really feels like he's being Spider-Man. And then
Yeah.
we have like these hybrid things, and then
There's
we
a hand in
have
the middle,
later
but-
on in the issue, which Jay probably won't show because of spoilers, we
trying to
have
just
him
flip back
interacting
and forth
with
between
Uncle
them.
Ben,
There you
and
go.
like
Right.
there's like not really that
Cool.
vibe, and
Right.
it really does a great
Cool.
job
Right.
making it feel like you're getting
Cool.
a secret identity
Right.
from your character,
Cool.
which is a super cool effect to have. And I think that you're absolutely
Cool.
right that it's
Right.
on the colorist. Are you done?
Cool. Yeah. No, sorry.
Okay. I was rambling, so like, is he gonna put his comic down?
No, but I felt like we're 11 issues in, and somehow I don't think we've
No, I don't
talked
think
about
we
that
have either,
specifically
except for
from Matt
maybe
Wilson.
in issue 1.
Yeah, and I
but
think
yeah,
that's
it's super
really
well
a rad thing that he's been doing, and I feel like he needs his flowers for that. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
His bright, saturated red flowers. He deserves
Or
them.
his cool flowers if they're in the house, which is where the flowers should be, not in the Spider-Man action.
He brought them somewhere else. And they were a beautiful pop of vibrancy on the page. But that leads very nicely into another book with incredible colors. The Moon is Following Us. You ready
Let's do
to
it.
move? The Moon is Following Us, number 3. Sam and Duncan finally have the training and firepower they need to go on the assault against the Cascade. It's time to rescue their baby girl, lock and load. Image always with the brief descriptions. We love to see it.
Yeah.
The writer here is Daniel Warren Johnson of Transformers, Duo Powerbomb, and Wonder Woman Dead Earth. The artist is Riley Rossmo of Harley Quinn, Detective Comics, and Bedlam. The colorist is Mike Spicer, and the letterer is Sean Lee. Jay, Moon is Following Us. Issue 1, pulled us in.
Yes.
Issue 2,
Yes.
made me cry.
Woo!
Issue 3, how you feel?
Yeah, just let me quickly amend my mistake because I do the credits. I have forgotten in the last 2 issues to also add Daniel Warren Johnson as an artist because he has done a couple pages of art in each issue here. Yeah, this was rad. This is this feels like the start of like the main adventure, I guess is how you put it. And I was like very interested to see how that was going to play out when in my head this was going to be like a 6-issue miniseries. But upon reading the letters column in the back, I found out this is a 10-issue series. Yeah.
Good for us.
Yeah, right? So I am even more hyped knowing that this is just like we're just ending the first like third here. So that's real rad. But yeah, it's there. I feel like, oh man, there's so many things to hit. I'm gonna start with Riley Rossmo because holy crap, this book looks awesome.
The
It is
otherworldliness
epic,
of
it is
it
bombastic,
is so
it is fun. It really feels like a child world, like in that like child imagination world. Like has hit that so ridiculously hard, and I feel like we've talked about in every issue how well Daniel Warren Johnson has done with the it's
God,
the mother and father's name I do not remember. Sam and Duncan. I know the kid's name is Penny, right? Is that that's the kid's name? Yeah. Which is weird that I think they're just always shouting it, so I remember it versus
they
like
shout it quite a bit.
Yeah, the two of their names.
They do say each other's names quite a bit too when they're being mean to each other.
That's fair, but they don't stick as well as Penny.
That's
being
fair.
hit at me, but yeah,
but you were saying with Sam and Duncan.
Yeah. They are written to be so like beautifully opposites, but also working together, but also arguing, and it's such a real life type relationship, and I love that. And finally, we get another very interesting wrinkle added in to like cap off this, and that's beyond the like cool. I think it weirdly gets you further than you thought you were gonna get in this issue,
Dude,
only
that's
to
what I
like
was gonna
pull you
say.
back. It's such a cool pacing wise to do it like that. So yeah, I love this. This was super rad, but I don't want to
Yeah,
keep
I was
rambling. I'm gonna
shocked
throw
when
it to
reading
you.
this because, like you're saying there, I thought we covered way too much ground way too quickly. I'm like, what the
Yeah,
fuck do you like? Is this book only 4 issues?
yeah.
I didn't read the letter column, but like you said, when we get
Nice.
to the end, it really does pull it back on you, and it's like, no, 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 that thing you want actually, because they do such a good job of emphasizing the weaknesses of both parents, and this one specifically for Sam, such a good job of it. Like, as a reader with the like premise of dramatic irony, the knowledge that what she's doing is like, leaning directly into her personal flaw is so good, and it's so good
Yeah,
for being like, oh, this isn't gonna end well, girl, I'm sorry. We see you berating your husband, and then him snapping back at you, and then you doing the exact thing that you were snapped at about. He's
yep.
so good. And oh my goodness, I just, the fucking Daniel Warren Johnson pages on this, because he does the first couple pages, and
And then there's
then
like I don't
there's
think
a
he does
couple
any other.
like,
Does he do
no,
any
I
other
think he
full
does
pages? But he does like panels and things for
panels
like
inserted.
flash sheet things,
It's
which are
so
rad.
emotionally driven. You already hit on Riley Rossmo, whose art is really phenomenal in this, but Daniel Warren Johnson is just so cool. I
Yeah,
do think
what
that
a
this
lad.
issue did kind of drop us back in a little bit without a kind of reorientation to go from the
That's fair.
super in universe first issue to the pulled back context of the second issue back into the full universe. I think we could have used a little bit of a little bit of a runway to get back up to things.
That's fair.
But I did pick it back up very quickly. I just feel like it could have been a bit of a smoother transition back into the air.
She wanted an
But
on ramp.
it's so cool. It's so well done. Exactly. Super well done. Great creative team. Any final thoughts on Moof?
No, I just that it's rad, and the cover it has some really rad covers for the
Which one
series.
did you?
By the way, I believe the
Yeah,
Riley Rossmo does the cover. I'm
yeah.
99% sure.
This is definitely Riley Rossmo art
Yeah,
on this cover.
that's you never go 100. That's why I went 99. It could always be somebody doing a Riley Rossmo impression. But yeah, in
It
any case,
doesn't actually credit any cover artist, so I wonder if
but
Riley
it does
Rossmo
credit
did
Mike Spicer for the cover.
with the
Interestingly
colors
enough.
on the cover. I think.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Like, it's
Yeah,
interestingly that it credits
that
the
they.
colorist for the cover, but not. In any case, does
In
not
any case,
matter.
yes.
It's definitely Riley Rossmo, but
Yeah.
whatever.
We have
Um,
more books to talk about. We are exactly halfway through. Let's
yeah,
go. And the, the
Night
moon
of the Slashers.
connects to the night in some way that would make a good segue, but I didn't find it in time. Night of the Slashers.
Night of the Slashers #2. Face the righteous fury of the holy terror. Survive the creeping horror of the nightmare. Escape the twisted justice of a killer cop. Trapped in a town out for blood. At each other's throats. Scared half to death. The body count goes up as the sun goes down. Gore, guts, homicidal grandmothers. Not rated. Viewer discretion advised. We have the writer Kevin Scott of Star Wars and Titans, the artist Paul Fry of Star Wars and Blood Squad 7, and letterer Sean Lee. So, Katie, you enjoyed the first issue of Night of the Slashers.
There were things that I enjoyed in the first issue of Night of the Slashers.
Talk to me about issue 2.
Because I think we had kind of opposite vibes on the first issue, where I was like, this was fine, but I'm worried about where it's going. And you're like, this was not great. I want to see where it's going. Or you're curious about where it's going or whatever.
Yeah.
I wasn't the biggest fan of this. It's a little... And as someone who doesn't watch slasher movies, maybe I'm just not the audience for it, because the complaint I'm about to have is that it doesn't have much going on plot-wise. It really does just feel like kind of... another slasher murders someone. We're gonna run behind a door. They're breaking it down, and that's like not my particular beat. I do think.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say the interesting thing is that the plot development we get is like half for the character that already died in the first issue.
Yeah.
For like the little flashback we
Well,
get
that
at the
was the
start
thing.
here.
I think we talked about Chip a lot during the review we did for number 1, because it's like refreshing to see him not be like an actual dick all the time. And yet again in this issue we see him like not having a natural inclination to being a dick, and then like kind of, you know, being a dick in a socialized way. Uh, and he's already fucking dead, so it doesn't matter. And the character we're left with is, what I'll say is I commend them on their commitment to making her like nothing can go right for her, and she is not allowed to like redeem even a little bit yet. I'm assuming that's gonna be a later on arc thing where she like really kind of drags herself up from the muck to become the final girl, if we're going like classic slasher.
Which I think we are. The characters
yeah.
are very much archetypal characters, which was one of my big complaints of the first issue. Like, they are very on the nose archetype characters.
And I don't know that she it's one of those things where I get making an unlikable main character. Like I get it very much so, but you gotta give him an angle. You gotta give him some like redeeming quality so that I want to read multiple issues about her and care about her dying. And that's kind of the thing that gets to me at the end of it with a slasher movie. We talked about this kind of when we did our horror creator corners, where it's like, okay, the important thing when you're writing victims is making people care about them so the book has stakes. And I just don't care about literally any of the characters here, unfortunately, except for the one who's already dead. Rip Chip, you will be missed. But yeah, not the greatest thing. There was a dog, though, and that always brightens my day for the most part. How'd you feel?
I guess you come, because I think that was one of the disagreements we had in the first issue, was that you actually liked the characters, but not necessarily the plot setup. Whereas I was not
Chip,
a big fan.
And I was like, okay, I think I like where this is going with the characters.
Whereas I was not a big fan of the characters, which continues here. I don't think the characterization is particularly strong for anybody in this. But what I will say is, I think, give me a quick second to look at Paul Fry. I think Paul Fry gets to do a lot of interesting art things with a lot of the cool action moments with the transformations, like the way they like rip their skin off, transform is really rad a lot of the time. I like the designs of a lot of these slashers because it basically was like, oh, you get to draw a bunch of slashers all in the same thing. So I think there's some great visual stuff there. Some of the kills, while again you're not necessarily super empathizing with the characters, you can at least look at it and go, that was a rad kill. Like, that was a cool, moment. But yeah, I think the characterization, because of, especially in like a more intimate book like this, that it's like we're staying in this location with this group of characters. I think when that's not connecting with you personally, it's a hard book to be sold on. So not for me personally.
Agreed. Are we ready to talk about our final issue for now of The Pedestrian?
Let's do it.
The Pedestrian number 4. A city on the brink of succumbing to the insidious forces of the Clutch. A hushed hero standing tall in the face of evil. Regular people drawn together by a desire to help each other and their town. Is this the beginning of the end? Or just the end of the beginning? Don't miss the exciting conclusion of The Pedestrian's first adventure. This is coming to us from writer Joey Esposito of Batman Urban Legends, Aquaman, and Grim Fairy Tales, artist Sean Von Gorman of Kiss, Star Trek, and The Crying Baby. The colorist is Josh Jensen, and the letter is Sean Lee. Jay, I think it's fair to call Joey and Sean friends of the pod. They were here last week.
We say that about everybody who's come on the pod. Yes, once you're on the pod, you're a friend of the pod.
And you're our personal friends. I'm so sorry.
Close personal friends. Yeah, we're gonna hang out on Saturday. They haven't confirmed yet. But it's gonna happen for sure.
Okay.
With a little post Thanksgiving hangout.
Y'all have a Friendsgiving without me.
Yeah,
whatever.
You don't live close by. You're not in proximity.
I think one of them is in Maine. I think Joey's in Maine.
Oh, okay. Sean's in New York, isn't he? I think right?
So.
Yeah, so me and Sean will.
Fine,
I'm sorry.
I've lost
the plot.
Okay, yes. No.
I've lost the plot
The book.
so hard.
We love the creative team on this book.
Yeah,
it's
I'm
such a
so
great
sorry.
Book. Yeah,
that got real weird, real fast.
It did. Please tell me you're not watching. Oh God. Okay, it's fine. Jay, how did you feel about the Pedestrian #4? The epic conclusion.
This
was
a really great concluding issue. It's everything that made the series so great, but coming together. We've talked about the fact that the Pedestrian follows a lot of the surrounding characters. They all get to kind of come together for this big climax. Exactly what you'd want out of the build to this book so far. We get a lot of action in this issue, which is something that the Pedestrian hasn't had a ton of. It's phenomenal. You get like fighting with traffic signs and all the cool like cosmic traffic light stuff starts coming in, which is just inherently super cool and super fun and very enjoyable. Sean Von Gorman does a phenomenal job with all the cool rad designs in this issue, getting to play around with all that. And then I think a lot of the stuff on the back end of this issue is fairly unexpected, honestly. Like there's some different turns there that I would not have predicted, whereas I think a lot of maybe the front half would have been not exactly, because this book's buck wild and does things that I was never in my wildest dreams predict. But I think I would predict the idea of like, oh, there's going to be this big fight and everybody's going to be involved and cosmic traffic lights are going to be involved. Like I think I could have nailed the general gist of that. But then as we hit the back end, there's a lot of different things that I would not have been anywhere near the ballpark of. But yeah, this really does feel like the while there is room for more, they confirmed it. Check out the interview. The creative team confirms there will be more coming in some way, shape, or form. But if you want it to come through Magma, through a traditional volume 2, whatever, you got to buy the trade when the trade comes out. But
and I'm glad you bring that up, because one of the things that I really want to say about this is that it feels like such a good end to a trade. Like, I am so excited to read this in a bound up form. Like, as you know, I'm such a sucker for month-to-month books. I love, episodic, the community of it all that good stuff.
Part of comics.
Exactly. I am so I feel like the way that specifically all of the, ensemble cast have their stories, not really converge or end here, but we get like a good end to a number of character arcs, like with Kira, like with, oh no, I'm forgetting our pizza girl's name. I'm dying.
Katie has failed.
I have failed. Shit. Redirect. I feel like with the way that Joey does the captions for Joey does the captioning so well for all of these characters, giving them these really great like character wrapping monologues, essentially, that are peppered throughout action, so it never feels like you're just sitting with the character as they have the end of their story happening. It's very like in the moment. It's very like I don't remember when we talked about captioning in the creator corner, but it's very in the moment captions. So it's while
like the
stuff is happening
like,
to them.
Like what would have been thought bubbles in old school.
Exactly, which I think works so well for giving us that insight into where their character is now, as opposed to where their character was at the start. I think that is just really a phenomenal part of this issue, and a really satisfying. I'm glad you shouted out.
The captioning is really strong.
That's what I was chomping at the bit to shout out.
We talked about, or we're about to talk about something, so I'm gonna hit here. The SFX in the Pedestrian are just top notch.
We talked about it in the interview with the guys, but having the fwish around his walking has become so like iconic and like tactile for me.
But it's even phenomenal. Like all throughout the action scenes, like there's plenty of other things for like the sounds of the signs hitting things, or like the way that like there's a twing after a hit that's just like it like rattling in the air, like metal does after it gets like hit, which is a nice touch.
Super duper rad. Cool thing. And just to shout out Sean again, the art in this book is so phenomenal. And I think we've touched on it probably with like every single issue. The way that Sean takes the art for this so seriously, like even though
is it too late in the book to shout out the traffic light pedestrian page? I think that's still in the front half.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite things.
You find him.
It's
Um,
beautiful.
it's
I
so
don't have a
beautiful.
physical copy
Oh shit,
because of
you
the
right?
magma
Oh no, right. The
thing.
magma delay.
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah, yeah.
okay. You
So
talk while I find him.
yeah.
You talk about this
That's
boy.
super rad. I'm talking about that boy right
That boy right there. That boy
there
right there.
with the
So good.
Frizak.
Exactly. It's
But yeah, that
phenomenal.
was super rad. It's all like it's got the like crayon-y effects coming out. Like Sean
Hmm.
was in his bag on that panel.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
woo.
I feel like
Um,
we'll fight. I prefer this one. The like
that one's great too. But
crosswalk beams
I
coming
don't
up
know.
so
I
good.
feel like it's just
Hey,
such a
you know
nice
what? We're
pedestrian looking thing
battling
right
with
there.
two beautiful swords
Yeah,
in this
yeah,
showdown here.
yeah.
Um, hey, it made sense. If you didn't question it, it would have been fine. But yeah, it just adds so much to the vibes of the pedestrian. And I know we're running long on this one, but real
Yeah.
quick, just want to shout again to the team, and the lore that they build into this world
Oh
is so
yeah.
unique. It's so immediately engaging. It's so like Jay loves internal logic, and I am
I
also
do.
partial to internal logic.
I
It
also love
all
lore.
makes
I'm
sense
a big
in
lore boy.
he's a big lore boy.
Yeah.
Mad Max has the war boys. The script heroes have the lore boys. Quick,
I have multiple
got another
boys
spray
now.
point?
Win.
Yes. But yeah, it's all just so rad, unique, engaging, and it all makes sense within the world that it's in. And you can tell because the characters surrounding the pedestrian don't necessarily buy into all of the pedestrian things
Yeah.
immediately. But then it's like, oh no, this does make sense. Like, of course, street signs would have extra effects to like move someone's fist to the left with a left turn sign.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so good. It's so rad. But I should can it because we have one more book to talk about.
You should.
Let's move
No.
over to the body trade.
Let's do it. The body trade number 3. Backed into a corner, Kim is forced to reconnect with his sordid past in order to move forward in his search for vengeance. With little evidence, he assembles a paper trail that he hopes will offer more answers, but it only leads to armed guards and a razor wire fence. With little else to lose, Kim decides the only way out is through. The writer of the series is Zach Thompson of Blown Away and Into the Unbeing. The artist on this series is the incredibly talented Jacques of In Hell We Fight, Gold Key Mysteries, and Duster. The letterer is Hassan Atzman. Allow, Katie.
Yes.
We have been thoroughly enjoying the body trade.
Correct.
It's a good old-fashioned revenge story with some very cool twists. Talk to me about issue 3.
Okay, I'm gonna get the elephant out of the room, and I'm just going real quick. I was going real quick. Jock is so fucking talented. Jesus fucking
He's so
Christ.
good. He's
Jesus
so fucking good.
Christ. It's insane.
He's the man. He's the
Like,
goddamn man.
He's so expressive. He's so good at doing like very normal looking
We're
scenes,
gonna come.
but then immediately changing to weird body parts hanging places and violence and right like oh geez I can't with Jock. This man needs to be stopped, and by stopped I mean hired by literally everyone. It's so amazing the way that he works with like timing on the page, like him and Zach together, obviously.
Yeah.
The amount of like beats that you get on a single page of the body trade is really really wonderful. Like there's one here it is that really jumps out to me where Kim is eating a taco and we get a moment of just oh that's a spicy taco, which is not like it's not something that would immediately read to me as like an efficient use of page space, but it adds so much character to the book.
But the reason that can be done is because of how efficient Jacques is.
Exactly.
Like, Jacques can fit so many panels on a page. He can fit so many beats on a page in a way that I think a lot of artists,
struggle with.
At least, just don't. Whether or not, can or can't, whatever. They don't, and it's valid. The 3-4 panel, 4-5 panel page method is completely valid. It's the predominant method of comics in the modern industry.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely. Jacques is not that artist. Jacques is not the artist where you open up the book. He will have some awesome splashes and some awesome spreads, but he's not the artist where you're going to be like the average panel count is going to be 3, 4, 5 a page. It's like, no, it's going to be like 9. Like this man lays them on there, and he does so effectively and efficiently.
Exactly. Everything is composed gorgeously, but to pivot to Zach, the way that this story is unraveling is so rad. Kim is such a like rough main character to root for. Like, the first half of this book is him getting a, unmarked harpoon gun so he can break into a facility. But every time we see
I don't know
him
about you,
engage
that
with,
endeared him to me. I was here for
so
that.
much,
I was
so
fully here
much.
for that.
But
Yeah, I wasn't
more
gonna use
so
that as a
saying
hard
that
to
he-
root for thing. I was there. I was like, hell yeah, man!
I'm throwing it out there as like he is out here. His crimes are not framed as
Let's
like,
go.
it's not like with Batman where it's like, oh, he's breaking the law, but for the greater good or some shit.
Yeah.
His revenge story is still muddy because he still doesn't understand what he's going
Yeah.
for. We get a
Yeah.
huge reveal pretty much at the end of this, which
Yeah.
is so wild and so excited and like so fucked up, and it's keeping me so excited about the body trade in general. And
It-
Kim himself is again, he as a character is so good, even if his
Yeah.
actions are like questionable. But
He's such
still
an
just so
intriguing
great.
character.
Like, he
That comes
fixes
as
the woman's
such a-
car fob.
Yeah.
I love him.
Like that was doing such a good job fleshing out this character
Mhm.
in, because it's really a book that while we do have, like, we have the woman who works at the
Yeah.
facility who gives them information, it really is a one character story. Like,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
one of those,
Mhm.
as revenge stories typically are. It's where it's like you are on this character close. That we were talking about things like Titans, where it's like, oh, you need to focus on the whole. This is the opposite. This is
Mhm.
you need to be on this one character, which means you need to make an incredibly interesting character.
And God, Kim is.
Yeah, Zach Thompson's fleshed him out in such a way where he feels real. He's got all these flaws. He's got all this thing, but his motivations are kind of, like, understandable, but also, like, again, we're getting more and more as we go, but it's like, you don't really know how right he is or how wrong he is or how
And the
much
important
things
thing
are
is that
going
he
on.
doesn't know.
Yeah. No, he's very, like, he's very committed, I guess is the right word,
yeah.
despite that, but he's definitely,
Like, he believes that he is right no matter what he finds.
Yeah, absolutely. Because he needs to be. Like, he is fucked up. He is ruined his life. He is ruined his child's, or I guess cost his child his life,
his child's life.
Yeah. Well, we don't know the exact circumstances. We don't know that he we know that it's his fault, essentially. We don't. But in any case, he needs there to be some grander thing that he can, like, atone via. If everything's on the up and up, then, like, he is just a fuck up, so he needs this. But that's what makes this such an awesome book, and I am really, really enjoying it. What is it only a 4-issuer though? So I think we're coming up on the
it would make sense if it was the end, because it keeps feeling like he's getting into situations that he's not going to be able to get out of. And shout out to both
there always
Kim
could
and
be more
Zach.
volumes up planned or whatever, but I think Mad Cave typically just does the 4, right? Aside from their, like, ongoing stuff, I feel like they just do the 4, right?
I don't remember. I'm trying to remember how many issues Dear Editor was, and I cannot remember because I'm a fool.
That's fair.
And I have a bad memory. But speaking of issues, Jay.
Yes.
Do you have a pull list rec for the week?
I do. The funny thing is, just as I make this episode even longer because I want to ramble.
Go for it. Ramble
something I don't think we've mentioned on recording yet is me and Katie a while ago talked about the fact that we are going to do, like, end of year awards or rankings on the podcast. We're going to be talking about, like, our favorite series, writers, artists, individual issue, whatever the hell.
Eisners, but a scripties.
Yeah, but, like, just for us. And I think this is, like, it's a late candidate, but I think this is going to be a candidate for single issue of the year, of my opinion.
Ooh, I
and
think I know
that
what you're
is
going for then.
Titans 17. It is 17, right? Yeah, okay. 17. This is such a good, like, story. It's like, I just think this is going to stick with me so long, like, and when you have those single issues like that, like, and this is an issue that I think is going to be one of those things where, like, I'll pull it out despite the fact that it's, like, part of a series and I might just read this because it's rad.
And it worked episodically, which is so rare and so great.
Awesome. So yeah, there was a lot of great books this week. There were a lot of things that were in contention, especially talking about body trade right before this, like, also kind of wants me to skew there. But I think if I was giving it to anything else, I'd be a little dishonest. Like this, I think was easily my favorite read of the week.
That's fair.
And it's just a super rad book. So I recommend to all of you to pick up Titan 17. Even if you didn't get 16, I think you should. But you can jump on right here. This is a great issue, I think, to read of Titan. So Katie, it's your turn.
Well, I'm definitely not choosing something that's a standalone issue. It definitely is benefiting from being the end of a series because like it gets all of that good payoff at the very end. I can't pick the Pedestrian number 4. I like the Pedestrian so much, and it earns its spot here with the conclusion that it offers to an absolutely buck wild ride.
But there are your 2 pull list recommendations: the Pedestrian 4, Titans 17. Pick those up. Pick up other things this week if they sounded interesting to you. But we have one segment left. Katie, tell the people where we're going.
We're going to the Creator Corner. All right, here we are in the Creator Corner, where we sit back, relax, talk about writing, talk about the industry, talk about very specific parts of a comic book anatomy, which is your clue to that's what we are doing today. We are going to talk
We're going to talk about the leg. You said the anatomy.
I'm going to cut off your leg. We are going to talk about... I'm glad you made that little sound, because we're talking about sound in comics.
Oh my god.
We're talking about sound effects. We're talking about how you write something like Jay's little
This is really cool because like I just saw somebody. I'm sorry to derail you.
No, go.
I saw somebody recently posting about this, and I saw like in more of the creative discourse, like people were talking about this letter is included. That apparently it's becoming an increasing thing that letters do not like. A lot of letters do not like that. Writers are trying to like leave that to the letterer. Like they're just putting in like sound of, like garbage disposal, for example, and like trying to like let the letterer do it. Which I know few letterers do like, but the majority of letterers do not enjoy. Yeah, because like
it's such a subjective
It's wild to me.
Thing,
it's such a like part of the writing thing. Like I think it's part of writing comics. But yeah, that was just the thing I saw a bunch of people talking about like maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. So I figured I'd chime in immediately because maybe we'll have people there, writers that are not actually writing out the sound effects, and it's
well, do it, gang. Unless your letter specifically says all of your sound effects sound dumb, what if I did this instead? But so there are many types of sounds that happen in the scape of your comic. We talked about this quite a bit when we were talking about writing horror, setting tone, the different ways that you can make things spooky or not. We also talked about it in our interview with the Pedestrian folks about the swish of the pedestrian walking. So sound can be a very important part of your book. We also talked about it in our interview with the Petrolhead people and the way that can give a lot of energy to a scene that you would normally maybe associate more with a cinematic thing, like something that has a soundscape to work on. So Jay, the first thing I want to touch on with sound is going to be the way that we do like in-universe sound, and then we'll jump to how you do sound in dialogue, how you communicate different non-verbal or I guess non-dictionary things. But so to start with how you communicate in-universe sound, what do you think what are the criteria for something to be given a sound effect to you?
This is a great question. The first thing that I think is very important to keep in mind, because I think sometimes it's one of those things that gets lost in like the process, is that comic books don't actually have sound. Right. Like from a technical standpoint, which means like if you might get so in your head that you're like, oh, and then this is going to make this sound, but you have to be conscious of the fact that they are not going to hear this sound. Yeah. They're going to read the sound if you put it on the page. That's very important. And one of the big things is that there's a lot of things that I think look stupid but would sound good, and sound bad but will look good when it comes to sound effects. So I think it's important to keep in mind that it is important the way that it looks, not the way that it would actually sound if they tried to say. There's a lot of sound effects that, like, you pretty much could not pronounce. Like, you'll see like continents upon continents together, and like it's like, how the hell would
you mean consonants?
It doesn't really matter. I said continents.
Hold on, I'm sorry. We're gonna diverge real quick in this corner. We're gonna diverge real quick. What are you saying?
We're gonna move on right now.
No. Come on, buddy. What are you saying?
It's a word that always trips me up. I cannot pronounce it properly. So if you are waiting for me to pronounce it properly, I cannot. My mouth will not do it.
As Jay said, you'll see continents upon continents in a row. I'm sorry to bully you. Go on.
Yeah, no. So I apologize for my shitty pronunciation. But again, would not matter in a comic book because they would read it. So, it would not
Tie
matter.
Back in. Good segue.
I cannot pronounce it.
But, that's fine.
I've so just lost my train of thought. Oh, so the important thing is I think there is very much a thing that the style and the tone of the book will impact the amount of sound effects you're going to want to do and like the places you're going to want sound effects. Like there's books and scenes and moments, because it can even change within a book, where I use very little, and then there's times that I might start kind of laying those on thick. And then there's books where like you're going to see a sound effect for everything. Like you'll see a sound effect for like closing a door. You'll see a sound effect for like, somebody walking, pedestrian. And then there's books where it's like you're not going to see a sound effect unless like something's exploding. Like there's those like different extremes, and you don't have to live in the extremes. If you even see a sound effect there. Yeah, you might see sound effects nowhere. That is also a completely valid way to do it. So I think it's very important to think about the tone, because sound effects have a tone.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you can definitely do creep. There's things where like, especially with like guts and stuff, sound effects can add to the creep factor. But a lot of times, this is a rule that's definitely meant to be broken. But I think it's good to give rules, even when they're meant to be broken. I think typically the more sound effects, the less serious the scene's going to play.
Yeah.
As a general rule. So if you're thinking very serious, lean away from sound effects. Thinking more fun or more bombastic or something, you can lean into sound effects. But again, rules to be broken. Yeah. But what are your feelings on choosing where to? Because that was the question, right? The question was choosing like where to put.
Yeah, when do you put a sound effect? Like, what is the criteria for putting sound effects? Yeah. No, you did.
So you did good. You tell me your thoughts as I think in my head about trying to pronounce the word.
No. I was gonna let it go, and then you brought it back up, and now I'll never be able to let it go. So I think that it's important with. Are you Googling the word consonants?
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna play the pronunciation in my ear as you talk. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I support you. I hope you learn. So I think that it's important when you are having moments of loudness, that if that loudness is coming from your characters, you don't necessarily want to have a sound effect to go along with that. So like in the same panel as like a classic comic book boom across an explosion, I don't think you also want a character to be going, "Oh my god!" Like I think that it's good to have
you can overdo
the sound effects have their exactly. Yeah, I think it's good for them to have their moments if they're being bombastic, and I also think they're really good in that same way for quiet moments, like when your characters aren't speaking, giving that ambient sound. Like you were talking about people walking, like we have the whoosh of the pedestrian.
The whoosh
is so good. But you can also have like, if there's an intimidating character coming, like giving them the clack clack of heels on. Yeah, that's good. And if you have a character who's like not paying attention to someone, having like the tap tap of them on their phone, drawing attention is what a sound effect does. So like that's fully attention.
Yeah.
So like if your characters are having a conversation, someone's like, "Let me text John," I don't think you really need that tap tap because they're telling you that they're about to do it. I think that using that as a way to pull focus onto something that isn't necessarily something you want to speak out is like the best time,
because it really does pull focus. Like if there's I mean, though I will say a lot of that's the letterer. Like really good letterers I think can vary between a sound effect that pulls attention and a sound effect that kind of blends into the background.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I think a really good example of this, and this is going mostly on memory, I really love the lettering of the first 2 pages of Chicken Devil, which Hassan Usman Alao did. There are all of these things going on in this hectic kitchen, and the way that they use sound effects really clutters the page in a way that's supposed to be cluttered in like a busy family morning. And
absolutely.
I think that's an example of sound effects being used really well, and like the way that lettering works on the page.
They are, I think, one of the like greatest like stylistic elements. Like they are such a style thing, and they really lend to like a tone and a style of a book.
Which is so
they're
important.
very artsy, which is I think, you know, the interesting thing, because they come from, you know, the letter, who I think a lot of times is unfairly deemed like the least artsy or creative of the bunch. But when they're doing sound effects, they're really, you know, getting to play with that sort of more,
And it's I think we've talked
stylistic
about this with letters before, where you can get away with having like a fine letterer, but if you have a bad letterer, it's very noticeable. And if you have an amazing letterer, it is insane. Like the amount of difference it makes to have an amazing letterer.
Yeah.
Like someone who really knows what they're doing.
Yeah, I think we talk about a lot of times how like the goal of a letterer is to like disappear. Like, you don't want somebody to notice letter. The sound effects are really where that breaks. Where it's like the sound effects are the moments where they shouldn't disappear.
Also,
outside of
a little bit effects, not, because like it's really good. Like in Petrolhead, I don't really feel like I'm reading a vroom on the page. Like when I see that vroom next to the car, it sounds like a car in my brain, you know?
Yeah.
So it's still, I think, like if you just had, you know, the bangers font with just a boom on the page, that's not going to give you the same effect as like a really good letter and giving that a really beautiful boom.
No,
but coming at it from, we love praising letters, because letters are so talented.
We love praising letters. Shout out Reed Hinckley Barnes, my letterer. What a lad.
What a lad.
What a lad.
But we obviously have more control over this in a writing sense. So what do you think are like the building blocks of a sound effect? Like you mentioned using a lot of consonants, which I think is absolutely spot on. How do you craft a unique sound effect when you need one?
I think, again, I know we're trying to move it, but I do need to just, because there's an important element here that comes with the letter. Which is, firstly, it's going to greatly depend on how your letterer works, which is your letterer a straight copy paster, or is your letterer somebody who's going to kind of feel it out? So like the big thing here is like, if you're writing out a big boom, are they somebody who's going to copy and paste the exact number of O's that you have, or are they going to change the amount of O's depending on the space they need to take up? I work again with Reed Hinckley Barnes. He's somebody who will change the amount of O's in the boom to fit the space he needs. So I'm not thinking about the exact number. Like I'm thinking about the letter composition, but I'm not thinking about the exact number of O's I'm putting in a big boom. So that's something that's very important, because if you have somebody who's not going to vary that, you actually have to think about the number of like a vowel, because that's typically, you'll stretch a vowel typically if you're going to do like a long,
or like you'll do a certain number of ha-ha-has or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. But that's only one of many lettering elements. The other one is like literally just coming up with the word, because a lot of times you're not doing something as simple as boom, and you might actually have to like quote unquote create a word, and that's like that's I think the writer part of it. You know, like that I think I don't understand when like a you don't understand why they leave it to the letters. They don't. I don't understand why you leave it to the letter there, because part of the creative is, as a writer, coming up with a word to describe a sound that does not have an English word associated to it. And I think that's a super fun creative exercise.
Yeah, so like just as like a kind of quick one, not something to like think a whole lot about, like if you had a character who was crumbling an aluminum can, like they crush a beer can in their hand. Like where would you start when trying to figure out what that sounds
like? So it's like it's got a hard, so it's starting with like a C or a K, because it's got that like, and then I'm probably going into like an R. I'm thinking in my head, I immediately go like into like a crunkle, but probably without a vowel. Because when it's a harsh sound, I like to do no vowels. Because I think it's one of those things that, again, would not work if you're like trying to say it. But on the page, I think the lack of vowel makes it feel hard. A lot of those letters are angular. Yeah, like you do, like maybe that's why you started with a K. But with crunkle, I probably wouldn't, because I'd have a K in the middle there. So I do like a C R, like KNL, maybe something like that. I'd look how that looked once I typed it out, and then I would make adjustments from there based on how it looks. But yeah, I start thinking with like the sound. Is it kind of a soft sound? Is it a hard, like a boom or a wham, or like, you know, or is it something that's going to be like that, like k kind of sound? And then you go into like, okay, does it like bend? Does it elongate? Like, what is the sound? How does it hold? And then you start to kind of craft it. So yeah, for that, I like crunkle. I think that's what I would do.
Yeah, I was going to go with critch.
That's fun
too. We love
a critch. That's like, importantly, I want to point out like what the two do here, because I think this is interesting. That's like that would feel like more of a fluid motion, right? Whereas a crunkle would maybe feel a little bit.
A crunkle is like a kind of slowly crushing.
Yeah, because it's more like back and forth.
It's literally got more syllables.
Yeah, it's literally exactly. Because syllables matter a lot.
Yeah.
One syllable will either be quick or elongated, whereas multiple syllables will feel more like multi-part, if that makes sense. Like a kaboom versus a boom. Kaboom feels like it has like two parts to it, whether it's like a build up and an explosion or like a thing, whereas a boom feels like it's just one explosion.
But
Syllables
also
are, I
with
think, a
that,
huge part of
something that you mentioned
how
before when
sound
you
effects
were
work.
talking about the number of O's you put in a boom.
Yeah.
If it's like a long lasting explosion, you want more of those
Yeah,
O's. Like if
yeah.
it's reverberating.
Yeah.
So that's a
You
really
want to think
fun
about how
thing to
it
hit on.
plays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
No,
there's before we jump to which I
yeah.
think will be a
No,
kind of
no,
similar
no.
thing. Before we jump to dialogue sounds, I want to hit on one more thing, which is action sounds.
Yeah.
Like the ones that you think of classically are the Adam West boom pow,
The whamp and pow.
whamps. Yeah. Where do you reckon with like combat noise?
This is interesting because one, I tend not to use these for the most part. I think knockout blows I tend to use them, or if there's something where I think like there should be like a good metallic sound. We not to spoil, look, we were working on something at some point where there was a big metallic sound effect, and that was like a big thing that we both really felt that we were very happy with that sound effect and the use of it
which
in
Jay
that
came
place.
up with. A beautiful sound effect.
Thank you. But yeah, like there's you know, I don't typically think, because like you said, it's an attention drawer, and I think in a lot of action scenes I don't want it there, or I'll decide that I want it there after I see the pages, which is another big thing. I think I in general play a lot with sound effects after I see pages, because I think that's a big thing. But yeah, I don't like the like every attack or every swing having sound effects. I think that's a product of its time. I've definitely had like a good, like for knockouts and stuff, some good sound effects. But I think generally, I'm not somebody who's like often going to put like a stabbing sound effect in there when somebody gets shish kebab, because I think that will take a lot of the. And again, it depends on the tone of the book. But I'm writing a serious book, and I have like a sound effect when somebody's getting like stabbed through the heart. I think that takes away from it. Or like if I have a drip for the blood coming off the person who is very obviously dripping blood and dead, I think that takes away from it. Reasonable minds will disagree.
A moment where I'll flash ahead where a spoken sound effect can come into play.
Fully. It literally in the scene that I'm thinking of. I don't know if you realize that is a scene from a book that I am a creator of a book that I did.
When you were talking about dripping blood, I had one in mind.
Yeah, and the shish kebab heart were both like from this particular scene, and there is a spoken sound effect there versus any sort of sound effect. I don't know what the other
ambient
atmosphere.
Effect.
Ambient sound effect. That's the proper term. But yeah, I had a question for you that is full. Oh yeah, no. I guess, do you think there's a place specifically in a serious book? Because I think it's very obvious that there's a place in a fun book. Do you think there's a place in a serious book for a lot of sound effects in a fight scene?
I don't know that I'm going to go with the word a lot, but I think when you're looking
consistent, like more than just the knockout blows, what I'm saying, like more than just like one.
When you're looking at something that is either moving incredibly fast or
that's a good shout.
I guess a little bit incredibly slow. Like I'm thinking specifically of like a crick on like a gun loading, like a little like type thing, or like a moving the hammer of a thing, or even with like very rapid punches, like having those like little sound effects to like punctuate the amount of punches happening, I think is something that could be very helpful and really add weight to
both of those. Though I just want to push that. I think both of those are those places where you want that letter who's able to do sound effects to kind of blend in the background. Those aren't the sound effects that you want to like fully draw, especially if there's like a bunch of gunshots and you want like all of them hitting or something. That's where you see those like bunch of little sound effects that really blend in. But anyway,
which I think is the sign of a good letter, if not a great one. And so I think that those moments where, because with a sound effect you are drawing attention, you're also slowing things down. Like the fact that someone is going to read something is going to move it more slowly. So one of the things that I was thinking of is like if you have a kind of sniper person and like you have the tick tick of the hammer moving, that's like a very kind of dramatic
I think
thing,
guns are
and then
real
you
good
have them.
sound
They
effect like
are. They
fodder.
also
Like
just make
they
such
make
good
the
tactile
yeah,
sounds.
fully agree.
But
Fully
even
agree.
with like a Bane type character, if you let him have a moment to like let the venom course through him, you can have like kind of like maybe like a little bit of a whoosh or like a kind of straining noise around his muscles to show them getting larger.
You've
Uh,
just given me a question I want to ask you because you just hit on mine, which is whoosh. Is there a sound effect you personally hate? I hate
is yours
whoosh.
whoosh?
I
Yeah,
can't
whoosh
take
isn't
whoosh
my
seriously
favorite.
in any
Um,
situation. It immediately takes me out of it. But I don't know. I don't think anything in real life makes a whoosh sound, and it just to me
I
immediately like pulls
my
me out of
thing
it.
with
So I wonder if
whoosh
you have
is
one.
that I actually kind of like a schwa, like a
I think
SCH
that's better. I think that's better for
W type thing.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
like
like that a lot
whoosh
more.
isn't like my actual one because whoosh doesn't
No,
really
I
that's not
I
the
thought you hit on.
actual
I
sound
wanted to
that
ask
something
you if
makes.
you have a
Yeah.
sound effect that's
Mine
popular that you
are
personally dislike.
mine are like the bam and pow because those
Hmm,
feel so like I like sound effects that if you read them out loud, they kind of sound like what you're going for. Because
exactly.
I talk like a moron, so if I'm talking about someone in a fight, if I'm like if I were to be
Yeah,
speaking to my letterer, it's like yeah, and then he hits up with a boo, boo, and then a ba, and then a wah, and
yeah,
it's like that's not a whoosh has no place in there, a bam
exactly.
has no place in there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're like
I agree
too
with you.
cartoony
Well,
at this point.
yeah, I agree with you.
But just to like really quickly run through the last bit of this
Yeah,
creator corner
this is
is
very long episode.
spoken sound effects, things that are not words, like they're not someone
Yeah,
saying "I've been stabbed," it's someone saying "Ugh," or something like that.
yeah.
Um, how do you craft those, and where do you think those work best?
I I have like a little writing like thing. There's one that I use all the time. I use ULK all the time.
He uses
ULK for like
so much, yeah.
if anybody is like stabbed or dying, like they're doing an ulk for me because I just feel like that's the sound in my mind of like somebody like losing their breath. Like it's like oh,
Mhm.
like
Yeah,
boom. I
yeah.
love a good ulk. I use it a ton. I use it too much. But I don't know. Spoken sound effects are super interesting to me because they're sometimes difficult to do visually because you have letters who will literally put sound effects in a bubble, and then you have ones who will
Mhm.
just bold it or whatever. Personally, I think sound effects in a bubble more often than not. I think there's some letters that make it work well. We actually had this with a series where Katie could not stand the way it was done in it,
Yeah,
but I think
God,
a
what was
lot
it?
of
It
times they
was
do
the
end up
space
looking
one.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
I
remember
think
what
it
it was
does end up
called.
looking bad a lot of the time. So it's one of those rough things of like I don't know that I ever go like full sound effects, but I definitely go sounds. I
Yeah.
also hate a ha 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 in a speech bubble. I don't know why. It feels weird to me. It feels very like only. I think it's just because the Joker's co-opted it so much that I can't take it seriously as like a non-evil, like a normal laugh. It's like if somebody is normal
Absolutely.
laughing, ha ha ha. I'm like, nope, doesn't work. Like comics have decided that that's not how that works. Um,
Correct.
but yeah, I don't know. Putting one in speech, I think, is even more difficult than a normal editing, where it's really going to be a feel thing. It's really going to be a
Yeah.
character thing and like a moment thing. And to me, it's even more important in this instance that it sounds like what it should sound like because it's
Mhm.
in the speech bubble. Like
Yes.
this is what they are essentially saying. So for me, I think anytime I'm doing it, which is probably why I mainly do ulks because in my brain that's what comes naturally. It needs to come naturally to
Yeah.
like what I think the character would be saying or what would be coming out of them in a given moment. But I'm gonna throw it to you because I feel like I was very unhelpful on that one. So I'm
I don't
hoping
think
that
you
you
were
can
unhelpful.
be
I think
more
that making sure it
helpful.
sounds like something that could come out of a human or, whatever mouth
Alien
your
or
character is.
dog or whatever the
Yeah.
character is.
Uh, I
Teddy
think that's a
bear.
really important tip for writing verbal sound effects.
Yeah.
Um, I think a big one for me is making sure that you're using it well because, in of like just 28-page comic, your character, like your main character, maybe has like, you know, 75 dialogue bubbles, if that.
Yeah.
Depending on,
Yeah.
yeah, just as a kind
Probably
of thing.
probably too many actually. I
You
don't
know
think you
how
can hit that.
verbose I am. I'm thinking if they speak 3 times a page, which is probably too many or whatever, if you like
Yeah,
shape it.
I guess that's fair. That's assuming that they're on every page though, which
Exactly, yeah.
yeah,
But
yeah.
in any case, with 75 being like a kind of, maybe high guesstimate, if
probably
you're
like your main
replacing
character will be the only character who ever hits that number if they do.
for sure,
You know?
yeah. But I'm
Yeah.
saying in like the greatest possible
Yeah,
situation,
no.
your character
I
you
was
replace.
like emphasizing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean
You're
to.
good. You're good. Uh,
Yeah.
you're replacing one of those moments that could be dialogue that gives you insight into the character with
Yeah.
a sound effect. Which
Yeah.
isn't to say don't use them, because I think they're incredibly important, and I think especially for like big moments, words like if your character has been stabbed through the heart, they're not going to wax poetic.
Yeah.
Depending on the tone of your book, they're going to die.
My brain just immediately went to a title where I thought they would do that. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna.
Oh, you'll have to tell me later.
Yeah. But I want to I want to do something that you did before this quickly, if
okay.
you're willing.
Yeah.
Which is, I want you to come up with on the spot. I'm going to give you the thing. Same thing with you did with a can.
Okay,
You're going to give me sound effects here. I want you to give me somebody who starts choking in the middle of their sentence.
I think. Sorry, that was me starting to choke.
Yeah, you have to do it. That's fine. That's fine.
I think a Hurrick might be good for that.
Ooh, I like Hurrick.
You've got the air coming out and then the catch on it, and I think Hurrick works really well for that.
I like that a lot. I think that's
what
very
about
solid.
you? What would you do?
Yeah. I think mine, because it would be like the start of a call. I'd probably do like a k or like a k or something like that.
Go.
Or maybe an ack. Actually, I might actually move it and put an A in front of
it. An ack is fun.
Yeah. But I like
an
a lot
ack
of
is definitely a cough moment. Yeah.
I think so yeah. But there goes the process. Like my brain started with a k, and then I went, actually, that feels like it should be on the back end, and then boom, we got the ack. That's the process right there. Quick, easy, bad.
And just making the noise out loud for yourself and trying to ascribe letters to it.
Yeah, I think that's the most basic form of it. Like if you're really struggling with it, like you might have to look stupid in front of yourself, but we did.
You might have to grow a few tentacles to figure out what your squelch is, but that's what you got to do if you want to be a serious writer.
No, just grab you just got to grab like a either like a sponge or like something that you can like get wet and then squish it and then you'll get
there. You go.
Or just go to YouTube and type in something that would have tentacles in it.
Don't go to YouTube and type in something with tentacles in it, please. Please, dear listener, please.
I meant something specific. I didn't mean I meant look up kaiju fight or look up if you know
dear
a movie
listeners,
that
don't
has
listen to him. Don't listen to him.
I didn't mean specifically
okay, I'm shutting this creator corner down.
What did I do? Okay, Katie, we're shutting the creator corner down. Why don't you tell people last week's bonus episode and this week's bonus episode?
So last week we talked about iconic members of the Justice League and less iconic members of the Justice League, and we put them on a beautiful Script Heroes tier list. It's super fun bonus episode. And then next week, get ready, because we're doing the exact same thing. Part 2 of that same video, because there was 61 characters?
No, it was I think 65.
65 characters?
It might have been 63. I don't remember now.
In any case, an absurd amount of characters.
You might have been right.
Split it into...
it was an odd number because it was a 2 and a 1 in the I think. So I think it was 63 actually.
Okay.
Yeah,
that rocks. Okay. That rocks. But we did 63 characters on this tier list. Absolutely wacky wild. Took up 2 weeks of bonus episodes to get them all out. But speaking of episodes that have too many things in them, Jay, we have so many polls next week.
We have a bunch of polls. We're going to be doing Batman, The Long Halloween, The Last Halloween, number 3. We'll also be doing Hyde Street, number 2, starting up the new Justice League Unlimited series with issue number 1. We're going to be doing issue 2 of one of my favorite first issues that came out recently. We're going to be doing Murder Kingdom number 2. I'm super excited to continue that series. We're also going to be doing Nightwing number 120, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 4, and finally Void Rivals number 14.
Big list, 7 books. So if you thought this episode was long, no, hopefully the news will be shorter next week.
No, hopefully we won't go nearly as long with the news next week.
Yeah.
I hope. I'm so sorry to anybody watching. This is going to be a third 2-hour episode in a row, which is
it's just brutal. More content. You're welcome, dear listeners.
I don't think we had ever hit that number before, and now we've done it 3 times in a row. This is when we went for a long time staying below an hour and a half, and then we started doing everything in an hour and a half. Hopefully 2 hours isn't the new norm. I'm so sorry.
Not. No.
I hope we don't ramble too much for you people. But Katie, is there anything else we need to hit on? Oh, I mean, just quick shout out. We have a Blue Sky now, so you can find us at Blue Sky. We hit it at the top, but it's Script Heroes Pod, and we have our personal ones, but those will be linked or whatever. Not going to make you go through listening to them again. But in any case, hopefully, see you next week. Comic Geeks.